What's up, summoners? King Blair here. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be first doing some arena, to get started, just kind of chilling. There's only 30 minutes left of arena, so it shouldn't be for that much longer. After that, we're going to move to actually talk about the patch, which I haven't done. I was debating whether or not I wanted to make a video or if I wanted to talk about it on stream. And when I saw the patch, I'm gonna be honest, at first, my first thought was a little bit disappointed, mostly because I don't have any other. I have one unit there that I'm kind of excited about, but the rest were kind of like, I didn't care much about. But after thinking about it and talking with people, I actually got a lot more excited about some of the units that are getting buffed and wanted to talk to you guys about some of that stuff. So hopefully that's what we're gonna do in the stream rather than me doing a video about it and making more of a discussion. And then we're gonna move forward to talking, this is a PvP channel. We're gonna be doing talking about some RTA stuff, and maybe we're also gonna be doing with my guild. I still have to do a fight for the championship for our guild a cup that we're doing. So we did a cup and this is finals. I was in finals for my guild. So we're gonna be doing the finals here in stream as well. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. We might pull out a tier list maker so you guys can see some of that spicy stuff. Sadly, I won't be able to turn on the camera today because it looks like it's not working for some reason on the stream. So it's not working, sadly. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing that. So let's just start with arena. Also, shout out to my guild for getting top 100. I don't know if you guys saw the community post, but that was crazy. I was super excited about it, and I'm really hyped. And what's up, everyone? What's up, Ed3? What's up, Clarcy? How y'all doing? What y'all up to? And Joshua, what up? But yeah, we're gonna be doing some chilling stuff, right? So it's gonna be a slow day. Also, let me know if the music is too loud at any point. But yeah, sadly, I won't be able to turn the camera on. I don't know why it's just not working today. That's so weird. So I'll try to fix it later on. So I don't know what could have happened to it, but it's just not working. Oh. But alright, so we're gonna be doing some arena, and then we'll move to the patch update, which I am trying to pull up right now. Biggest one that I saw that I was like kind of excited about is DJB, Chu, and T Crossit. Even though I may not necessarily like the design of the units, they're actually gonna be very good. They look very, very powerful. Like, not gonna lie, it looks really, really good. So let me pull up the balance adjustment previews and stuff like that. But first, as always, let's start with some arena. Yeah, we only have a couple more minutes. Let's just try to see how high we can go up. Let's see how my defense is doing. It's not doing great, but not doing too bad either, actually. But most of these wins are from like someone that was inting into me. But I didn't get attacked too much, which makes it nice because then we can just go through the list. We're on a win streak right now, and yeah, just kind of chill. I like that he put the landy here, because when you put F10 in, it just automatically means you're going to be bringing a FCEC. So I think that's pretty cool with the defense. Maybe one of these days we'll do a defense review. Hey, thank you. Yeah, our guild was able to get top 100, which I think was like amazing. I did not expect to get top 100 that early, like this early, right? That was just amazing. I can't complain. I can't say anything. It was just great. This was great. All right, we're definitely bringing FCC. And let's just bring Emerald Haste. Why not? And let's just bring Landy. I don't feel like thinking too much. Hopefully this team doesn't lose. Hey, what's up, Camway? But yeah, we're also starting the expedition guides. Hopefully you guys like the first one. I realized like after I posted it, I kept watching it and I was like, did I miss something? And then someone mentioned Lena, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really did miss Lena. If you guys don't know, Lena's actually like really freaking good for a PvE. For a free-to-play unit, she's actually insane for Fire Expedition. So it's a kind of a feels bad I forgot that. Shu, I'm actually really excited about. Even though I don't like too much her design, I actually think she's a really good unit now. Like meta relevant. Like, I think she'll actually be a unit that you need to potentially build, especially if you're someone that struggles against Ravi, because she just became probably the best Ravi counter. Also realized I'm taking a ton of damage this time. Probably because I didn't bring the right artifact on Landy, but it'll be fine. We should still be able to do tons of damage and kill the RV and do everything. But let's see how we do. It's just Landy just clears these so fast, dude. We're just gonna end up healing right here. But yeah, so the patch notes I have pulled up. I'm just gonna do a couple of fights. Maybe once we hit the next rank in arena, we'll go up to the next one. RB has made a big resurgence everywhere, as always. There's so many builds on RB. RB never dies. I saw a post on Reddit that I was just like, wow, it's so true. Like RB's just always in the meta. I don't know how he does it, honestly. All right, this landy should be S3ing me here, and then we'll S3 her back. Resurgence never left. Honestly, you're right, mid. RB never left. Arena is back to being all tanks, but I hate Arena, dude. Arena is always like my least favorite PvP mode. Are you kidding me? Did you really just miss that? Okay, we can just S3 here. Let's not soul burn it. I don't think we need to soul burn it. What's up, Pufer? But yeah, I also need to change my A Tywin's build. Because there's this one A Tywin build that's like been floating around that's actually like really spicy. And we should just be able to heal it here again, so I'm not too worried about this one. The landy should be able to kill there, so let's just dunk here. Yeah, I'm going the full damage Bruiser A Tywin soon, because that build looks really good for A Tywin, and I looked at my gear and I actually have like the perfect set for him. The only thing that I'm struggling with is I need to get him 7 more speed to still keep the Specimen Cess combo. But alright, let's just auto at this point. But it's just nice. I'm starting to think about it. I looked at the gear, I found the set, I have it saved on my phone. The next free on equip, I'm gonna go in real quick and I'm gonna change that A Tywin. And it's gonna be crazy good. I'm so excited to change my A Tywin back to, or not back, just change him to crit damage because it's just such a good build. Like Golden Boys are so strong right now. I can't even deny that Golden Boys are just absolutely broken. Hey, what's up, Moises? Nice to see you too. Yeah, shout out to Kingsworn again, making top 100 by the skin of our teeth. All right. The only thing I need to change here is Cess, and I need to find a faster team. What's the team I was taking? Oh yeah, I was taking this team recently. Against these guys, I was taking this recently. Just because it's like, why not? More AoE, and I can auto it if needed. Like once I kill a couple. Right, let's see it. Hey, what's up, Minio? Oh, Minio. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of talking today. I'm excited. But alright, let's see it. I think this is just an excuse for me to use my Holiday Youth, dude. If you're asking why I held on to the S3, I did not know that was Idol's Cheer. I should have done S3 if I knew that was Idol's Cheer. But I say that just so I could S3 later, but I don't think I needed to save it, now that I think about it. Because this team is pretty free. Hey, what's up, D Sonica? Hey King, have you already started talking about the patch already? No, I have not yet. I will talk about the buffs after we finish Arena, which I'm just trying to get to the next rank, just so we can get a little bit more Sky Stones. Since recently I've been dropping so many Sky Stones. So that's the plan at least. I pretty much should be able to solo at this point in the fight, but the only problem I'm worried about is the Polides. She starts going on Landy and it's just very annoying. Fallen Cecilia makes all these arena defenses so much easier to go against. Now we do the S3. But yeah, we'll talk about it in a second, Multi. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I usually just like starting with something more chill while we get more people and just to like get like my voice ready, you know, because I get kind of excited as we build up. So I want to start building up that excitement because it's hard to just go from like not talking to anyone all day to talking to you guys and like being super loud. Hey, what's up, Ink? Wondering what you consider a must pull for the next old MO5 star. If things remain like they are right now, I would say a Tywin is kind of a must pull. He's actually just insane for everything. Arbiter Vildred, always. It's just, if you can get Arbiter Vildred, you are getting Arbiter Vildred. He's just the best, right? He's the best unit in the game. Aside from those two, must pull. People would argue maybe Rylet, but I think Rylet is really hard to build, and Rylet's up there for sure. Athletica, if you're a Cleave player, you need Athletica. So I could use my free on equipment, but the thing about it is I'm also waiting on charms. So let me rephrase that. I'm switching my A Tywin to a damage A Tywin, right? But the problem is that as of right now, I'm missing way too many charms And that's actually a really big problem, right? Because I need the charms to upgrade my A Tywin's gear, but I do have the perfect set to make him a really good Bruiser A Tywin. So we'll get it there. Let me just get rid of FCC because she's been really annoying. The burn should kill. And then let's try to provoke the Rowana. And now I'm pretty sure I can auto at this point. Oh, are you serious? It didn't kill? That's fine. Oh, it's a counter. I should not have attacked her. That may have been a mistake. I forget that all the Rowanas now are like Celestine and... They're like on Celestine and on... What is it? Celestine and... Counter set. I don't know why. It's just all these arena Rowanas, they're so annoying. They actually stall for so long. It's a good... This is probably the best arena defense right now. It's so annoying. It's not necessarily a defense that's like hard to beat. It's a defense that just takes so long to clear because you can't properly cleave it unless you're bringing units like you're going with like a damage cleave with like Pavel, Bazaar, and all that stuff. And that T-Surin could have been a Moonlight Dreamblade, so I don't want to risk bringing my Bazaar missing on the T-Surin. So it's just hard. Hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the contrib, Adam. I really do. Let me see some of the stuff you are saying. You put me in the spot in the first Guild Wars tower. No, I need to put you, Huford. Thanks for reminding me. That's something we need to do ASAP. I'll put you in 4th. Myth, can't wait to see 25k. Okay, it's not gonna be that fast. The problem is the speed. I'll show you guys A Tywin if you guys really want to see it. I'll just have to look at my thing. I'm gonna the new crazy gear. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna show you guys my Ross. The gear subset change has made me get an insane Ross. It's just gonna be disgusting once I'm done with them. Any arena can be broken. It all depends on the player's willingness to stay in one battle. Yeah, it's just really annoying because like all these defenses are just like stall. And it's just like with the F10 and Cerise, because of Emma Lilibet, all the F10 and Cerise teams are gone, right? No one's playing F10 and Cerise anymore in arena, which means that they're going back to their usual tank and spank. So it's just, I kind of miss it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm the type of person that I kind of miss it. I really do miss the old Cerise F10, and now you only mostly see Cerise and like Polides. It's all Cerise Polides. It's so annoying. Violet's coming back in arena defense, mainly because it's just hard to deal with them. Like here, yeah, I can take Bazaar, right? And I can take, actually, I think I know what I can do. The only problem is the Cerise applies way too many debuffs. It's just, there's so much stuff here that's just like debuff and slow you down. You can't go aggressive. That's what I hate. I can't go aggro. I don't know how fast this Cerise is. I don't know how fast this Polides is. I don't know how tanky this Rylet is. I hate these type of defenses. It's usually just like, I typically just had a Bazaar, A Tywin will remove the restrict, but I can't even use, actually I could still use Tomoka here, since she can take the turn after Bazaar. But it's just like, I hate these defenses. Let me think about it. I still need to find a way to deal with these defenses properly. Oh, is the music really loud? Man, y'all should have said something earlier. Alright, I put it a little softer. Thank you for letting me know. Is it better? It's just supposed to be chill background. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. Hopefully this is better. But okay, let's go back to this arena because this arena is actually giving me headaches. But hopefully the music's a lot lower now. I put it significantly lower. Dude, the music is so hard. I don't know. It's just so random. But okay. What I want to do against this team. Like, I know I can just tank it, but I just want to find a way that I can properly deal with these defenses. The problem is the Rylet, actually. How do you deal with the Rylet with these two speed contesting you? Without just tanking up and like putting like I could just do this, right? I can just put a Tywin, G-Purg. Oh, Seaside. I'm stupid. This is an easy Seaside. Surprisingly. Even though there's a last rider call, the rest of the team is so squishy, it should be an easy Seaside. So I'm just going to put this Seaside and Bazaar. I keep forgetting that Seaside is a unit in this game. I don't know what... Dude, Arena is actually just all Seaside. It just makes some defenses a lot easier. So now I can just do this, right? the A Tywin should be able to tank pretty easily. The Seaside, like the last Rider Crawl won't have anything. Rylet should outspeed set or lifesteal. Usually for arena defense, I think lifesteal is the best one, so he can survive for longer. See, that's a lifesteal Rylet. At this point, lifesteal Rylet is going to be the better Rylet. Like, it's just because it's so good. It's the best one right now. Sadly, we didn't hit the Rylet, which kind of sucks. But y'all will see why this defense is so toxic. Because we didn't hit the Pleiades, because she's Earth. We can do this though, and we can set up a lot, but we're not gonna be able to touch this Pleiades. And she's gonna set up a glancing hit, I believe. But should be an easy Seaside still. Unless we like miss all our stuff every single time. I did see the speed Rylet, the 270 speed Rylet. That Rylet, okay, if you can get it that fast, that's crazy. But most likely, you're not getting a Rylet to be the speed that they have that Rylet at. So, I could have brought immunity. You're right. I could have probably brought like an immunity unit. I just got greedy. I just wanted to Seaside it. I mean, yeah, this is what Rylets do, right? You have to assume that Rylet is gonna dodge every single time when you go against these defenses. And like you guys can see, because he's so slow and the Rylet used S3, now he also gets to put that. He should start going on the FCC afterwards, since FCC is the next slowest one. So it's gonna be a Rylet versus my whole team. And Seaside should be able to outdamage him, hopefully. Hopefully. Right? That's the big hope. Right? We're probably gonna miss every single debuff. But we should still be able to do okay. She's gonna hit Basar. See, like Seaside is free right now. Alright. We have to eventually hit this Rylet. This Rylet actually might solo my team. That's sad. That makes me sad. It's because we didn't stun the A Tywin. I shouldn't have brought Rylet now that I think about it. He's gonna go on Basar next. I don't think Seaside solos this, yo. This is why Moonlight Dreamblade Lifesteal Rylet is the best for defense, because he can just solo your team. He still does like good damage. He does all this stuff. So we're gonna, since we have the glancing hit, we miss too much. Alright, the only way we would win is if this Basar hits. We haven't hit all game, so it's not like beyond belief. Yeah, it's just annoying. I can't believe we're gonna lose this. Dude, I need to find a way to deal with these teams. I actually think this might be the best arena defense. We pretty much lose right here, for sure. Like, no matter what we do, we lose right here. Arena Gamer, I want to try for next season, because New Arena season is tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, but like, I really don't know how to deal with these defenses, like the Pleiades ones. Because the Rylet is the problem, right? The rest of the team is whatever. It's just the Rylet. If I kill the Rylet, the rest of the team is like free, right? And like F Clury, okay, if I bring F Clury, I could just bring a bunch of immunity units, I guess. Actually, let me just try that. I could have just done that. I don't know why I just didn't do that. I'm gonna go again. I want to try again. This even is just annoying, but I think I can crack it. Let me try something else. Let me try Frackeneer Clury. Let's not bring FCC this time. Let's try Falconeer Clury. Let's just go super aggro. What's a DPS that we have that's on... What's a DPS that we have that's on... Whatchamacallit? A DPS that can go after F Clury that I have. That's like slower. That has immunity. That's a big one. Honestly, it doesn't really... Actually, it does need immunity for Pleiades. I can just bring Landy, actually. Let's just bring Landy. Let's try this. Let's try this. A lot of Earth, but I'm curious how it will work. Because we can Soulburn the Rylet, right? And the Landy should we go faster? Oh, but the Cerise strips immunity. Huh. Wait, this is not going to work. See who avails spell. That's terrible. Carl, oh, Carl, you're right. I can just bring Carl. Dude, I'm so stupid. Thank y'all. This is so much easier. Yeah, y'all are right. This is a lot easier. Instead of FCC, let's do this. Should we still do Seaside or Landy would be better? I think Seaside. Seaside worked fine. It was just we didn't have a way to actually kill the Riolet. Alright, let's try it this way. Maybe this is the plan. I forget Crawl. I forget. You're right. I'm just trying to find quick ways to beat it. I'm just trying to find quick ways to beat this defense. I don't want to sit here for 2 hours against this defense. So I'm hoping Crawl just takes care of the Riolet, right? Like, he can do whatever he wants. I'll push him back, and we should be fine. I mean, I wish I had Last Rider Crawl, right? If I had Last Rider Crawl, we'd be chilling. We could always luck sack and hit everyone here. At least we hit the Polides this time, which is more RNG, but... Alright. Hopefully this time we hit the L-Craw. This is too RNG, I feel, still. Alright. Only a story roll, 41 attack. That's really good enough for champion. That's really good. Craw is pretty quick. Yeah, you guys are right. Craw is quick. So this I feel a lot better about than the other team. Although we should have let the Last Rider Crawl stun us. I feel like instead of Bazaar, if we just brought a cleanser that could put immunity like a Ray, this would be easy. This team would just be like free. Or yeah, just a cleanser. Like I can just bring the Stina here next time. If we see this team again, we'll bring the Stina out. Imagine not having L-Craw. Dude, don't remind me. It makes me sad. Alright. I think we pretty much win at this point. Like, I don't see how he kills us now that we have Craw. I can just S3 the next turn too. Nice. But okay, after this arena fight, I just wanted to get... It's almost done. So it's almost 11. It's almost closing. I think this is the last arena fight. So we're going to go to the balance patch. We weren't able to go up a rank, which feels bad, but it is what it is. We'll move forward. This will 100% kill, even through a miss. So there we go. Use Craw. Okay, good to know. I have to remember that. If I see Last Rider Craw Ryle, just bring Craw. It should just be easy at that point. But okay, we weren't able to push up because I put pig at it and I lost that last time because I didn't bring Craw. So okay, now let's move on to the other stuff. So let me put a marker for myself. Okay, now let's go to the stuff that you probably came here for. Before we do that, let's run some expeditions in the background while I put this on the front. I've been trying the Tama teams to see how high my damage goes up instead of Deanny. Because I usually use Deanny, but I want to see how Tama works, right? So I want to see if Tama still works. I just want to see if I can do more damage or if it's faster with Tama. Okay, now let's start with some balance patches, all right? So this balance patch was, overall, it was weird. I'm going to be honest with y'all, the first time I saw it, I was a little disappointed. You know, I came in, I looked at it, and I was a little disappointed because it wasn't, at first I was like, I didn't see any of the units. But the more I looked at it, the more I like, okay, these buffs were actually really good, right? And all in all, I think a lot of people are not happy with it because they didn't get the units that they wanted buffed. But even though that may be a thing, it was still a really good balance patch. Even though there's not units that you like, it's still a really good balance patch. The units that did get buffs are still units that could need it, right? And are definitely good buffs, right? It's definitely not bad, right? So it's not bad. So let's talk about it. Oh, Moy says, thanks for reminding. No, I have not finished pulling for her. I'm waiting till next week or the next week to see the rotation. I will try to pull for her. She looks really cool and I want her. But I'm not going to spend on anything. Hey, what's up, Deets? Thank you for come up. Oh, yeah, Operator Sigrid. The thing about it, it's with Operator Sigrid, I guess with the Cerise, it doesn't matter as much. She doesn't really care about it. I'll probably finish my Operator Sigrid and see how it works afterward. But okay, let's look through it. So the units that got buffed were units that like I did not expect. I don't think anyone was like, oh yes, I expected this unit to get buffed. No one was thinking that. It was very sudden, to say the least, right? It was very like interesting buffs to units that I did not expect. So first, the one that we all expected though was Desert Jewel Bazaar. This one is really neat. DJ Bazaar was always not a bad unit. None of the MLs are bad units. That's the first thing we need to know, like to state. There is no ML 5-star that is bad. They all have their uses that they can do good, and they all have their niches, right? There's no bad ML unit. But DJ Bazaar was one of the less strong ones when compared to the other counterparts, so it made sense. As far as the cool stuff, this first part of the buff basically makes his S3 be able to heal. So because of this, when he uses S3, he actually has a little bit of a heal now as well. So the passive also will trigger with the S3 since it's whenever he uses a skill. And it increases the healing, which is nice because DJ Bazaar's heals were actually not bad. The heals were actually not bad on DJ Bazaar. On like a tank DJ Bazaar with like some attack, the heals were actually pretty good on a counter set tank DJ Bazaar, and it was actually pretty annoying, the heals. So the fact that it got increased healing is really, really good. The other skill that I thought was really interesting was the 30% critical hit reduction. Why is this one interesting? Whenever you think, because DJ Bazaar's S3 can be used in cleave as well as in aggro, right? The problem with this is if he needed way too many stats, right? He wanted FRES, he wanted health, he wanted attack, he wanted speed, and you couldn't always get all the stats. But now you don't have to make him super fast. You can bring him in an aggressive team composition that like a 250 speed, and this will make it so even if you get outsped by something like a Rylet, you can still tank that Rylet and still set up the S3, which basically just makes it so you are not as easily, even if you get speed contested, you're not going to get one-shotted by almost any unit in the game. This is really hard to get past. 30% damage reduction is really hard to get past. This can also stack on top of Aureus, right? So it's a 50% damage reduction with an Aureus if you do bring an Aureus. If you bring no damage mitigation, that's still 30% damage cut. That's still really good. So essentially now you get kind of a guaranteed S3, which is good, unless you're getting cleaved. If you're getting cleaved, you're not taking turn 1 regardless. But if you're bringing DJ Bazaar to anti-cleave, he's not an anti-cleave unit. So this could, you may be able to do a very tanky DJ Bazaar for anti-cleaving, but it also works for just stopping speed contests for your aggro team, right? And there's a lot of aggro teams that are out there right now, like with F10A, RB, and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. So let me see some of the other stuff that y'all are saying. Bazaar is only viable in high rank. Bazaar is super good. DJ Bazaar is really good. It's really, really nice. Chloe is still OP when she's last pick. Yes, Crimson Ramen got a debuff, but Maid is okay. She's actually really good as a last pick. But yeah, the healing is cool. This is nice. I think the healing is nice. It was decent heal already. This is gonna be a lot higher. It's really crazy heals what he can do. Like the thing about it is he's gonna be in a tank team most likely. But let me finish discussing this and then I'll read it so that way I don't get disrupted halfway through. I'll get through all this, but let me talk through all of this real quick. So this really, really cool, right? It doesn't matter if you get outsped because you're probably not getting one shot. The healing is not bad, and now it's just a lot better. And it also heals off the S3, and then of course the S3. It's the same. It gives an extra soul, which is nice for cleaving, right? So overall, DJ Bazaar, where I think he's gonna be used, and do I think he's good? First, do I think he's gonna be good? I think he was already a good unit in the right situations. They just make it so he can actually be in a lot more situations. I actually think he's gonna be part of the Golden Boys because in a Bruiser versus Bruiser matchup, the amount of healing DJ Bazaar is gonna be pumping out is going to be insane because of this, but that would be with a counter set build. For more aggressive options, the 30% CR push is still there. What I could see cleave players using is using this against Polides and potentially just still setting up their a unit that can CR push, but then using DJ Bazaar to cleanse everything that the Polides did, right? So that could be cool. It's still really good for aggro teams. I think ideally though, it's going to be more for fast aggro teams rather than cleaves, or for tank teams with the counter set build. I think the counter set build is a lot more interesting now because you can, if they don't bring debuffs, you can just hold this S3 forever and then just use it at the right time. Like you can just use it at any point you need a push up or you need a cleanse. You can just hold on to it and have that damage mitigation. Or if you already have damage mitigation, you can just S1. This with General Purgus looks disgusting with like Last Rider Crawl, with all those like light units that just like the sustain, it's just kind of disgusting. Yeah, I think you'll build him like Ray. I agree with you, High's Darkness. I think he'll definitely be more like a Ray, where he's there for countering turn 1 teams after they go. Not cleave teams, but countering those more aggro teams or being part of a aggro team. I think he'll be really good. I actually think this will make him very strong. I will definitely be building mine. And the thing about it is, I actually think I have mine like decently built, right? Let me actually check, because I think mine is actually not... I mean, he has Mola invested in him, and I know he has imprints. So I actually think you can make him quite tanky and fast and like take away turn 1 from your opponent and set up. And then just set up with your own aggro team. Or on a bruiser team. Let me see him. Let me see where he is. Because I know I do have him. So I am excited to use him, actually. So he doesn't have that many. I should probably... Actually, I don't really care about the stun chains that much. That's just like icing on the cake. That one can probably stay the same. This is cool. The heal was already pretty good. The target's max health. I mean, if you're using this against tanks in a tank versus tank matchup, this is just gonna do so much healing. Every time you use S1 on an enemy, you're healing by a ton. And then this one is just... It's one of the best S3s in the game. Just denies so much from the opponent. But yeah, DJ Bazaar, I think, will actually be a strong unit. I think he'll even be potentially meta relevant overall. Like, all in all, I really do think he'll be meta relevant. So let me see what you got. Before we move on to the next unit, let me set up the hunt and let me see what you guys are saying for this. Because it is an interesting change for DJ Bazaar. I really do think it's gonna make him way better. It's gonna be scary, actually. It's gonna be annoying, especially for control players. But yeah, I do have ML Bazaar, so I might try to mola him before the patch, so that way I can do a showcase and try to slap on some gear on him. All right, so let me move this, and then we'll go back and let me see the comments before we move on. All right, so TJ May needs a buff. She could use a buff, but she doesn't need it, right? Like, none of the MLs need a buff. It'd be nice to get a buff. Like DJ Bazaar, it's nice he got the buff. When Maid Chloe eventually gets the buff, it'll be nice that Maid Chloe got the buff. But as of right now, she doesn't need it. She's still really good in offensive for Guild Wars. She's still pretty good in arena offense. She's still pretty good as a last pick in RTA in certain team compositions. It just sucks that right now Bazaar, Briar, which has Saria, are so prevalent in the meta. That's the main reason she doesn't see as much play anymore, is because those two units can actually make her day terrible, and there's still the old counters with like Emil Haste and stuff like that. So she still has her old counters, and then regular Bazaar and Briar, which has Saria being so prevalent, also doesn't help. So that's like the big problem. It's just harder to use her, but she's still pretty good in the right situations. Crimson Helmet we'll get to. It's going to be pretty crazy. Does the 30% change with the S2 kill enhance? No, the 30% is just always there. The CR push does reduce though. The CR push it only goes up to 30%. You have to mola it to get to 30%. It starts at like 20%, I believe. DJ Bazaar's S1 does heal AoE, which is why he's actually a really good Soul Weaver, and his S3 does also heal. He's actually really loaded for a healer. He's gonna have insane sustain in the right team. It's gonna be pretty toxic. If you have him against control, there's almost no reason you should lose against a control player, because he's gonna set up immunity for so long. Ludicolo, the thing about it is, if you are able to set up DJ Bazaar S3, you probably already won the fight. That's the thing with DJ Bazaar. This skill is so polarizing because it gives you turn of priority if you outspeed. It gives you 3-turn debuff immunity. Now it heals on top of all that. So it just literally makes it so it's like you're guaranteed this skill pretty much. Like you're pretty much guaranteed it unless they really focus down on your DJ Bazaar. He's guaranteed to use the skill, and you should be able to be in a position that after you use the skill, A, they should not be able to burst you, or B, you're already going to win because you have so much advantage if you're using an aggro team. So if you get this skill off, you're most likely winning the match, right? That's the big thing with DJ Bazaar. Unless they like hold for a bunch of stuff. So I think he'll still be good. Hunt is really good. I have not been able to use him in RTA and Legends since Season 1, hoping he's usable now. Are you talking about DJ Bazaar? Yeah, High's Darkness. He's weird. He's hard to use. I know there's some people that love him, and I've seen him every once in a while, but I know this will definitely make him a lot better, I think, for sure. He should be able to be used. More needs a buff. More definitely needs a buff. Make Chloe still better than DJ Bazaar even after. I don't know about that one, Ludicolo. I think DJ Bazaar is really strong right now. Let me keep going, though, about the other ones. But he's always been usable, right? He's always been usable. It's just now he looks a lot better. All right, now Chu. This one, I'm a little scared on this one. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I saw the Chu buff, I was like, this looks kind of scary, right? Because if you guys didn't know, RTA is switching back to heavy tank meta, right? We're going back, not really. It's like more tank. I'm not gonna say full tank meta like before. It's a lot more defensive now, but it's mostly golden boys, right? It's a lot of bruisers, and occasionally Robbie is one of the units that does really well against those booster teams because she can single-handedly solo them. So that's Robbie's been really, really strong for a long time. And her counters are typically like Cerise, Seaside, and F10A, but F10A and Cerise are not seeing as much play. Cerise still sees a ton of play, and F10A does, but not together. So you can still sometimes draft Robbie and ban out the other unit, and then they can't really deal with Robbie, and then they lose the match because she just solos it. But with Chu in the mix, she's actually a really nasty bruiser. Like when I saw the bruiser kit, I was like, this is really scary. I really do think this is gonna put the trinity of bruisers for RGB. It's gonna be Robbie, Alencia, and Chu. They all counter each other. They all have good matchups against the other. It's like a Pokemon. You guys know the Pokemon triangle? Like you guys know the Pokemon triangle that you can do with like the starters? That's essentially what they made with Chu. Because Chu counters Robbie, Robbie counters Alencia, Alencia counters Chu. It's like a little triangle now, right? And it's actually like really good. So it's really cool, right? It's kind of cool that they did that triangle because we didn't have a strong water bruiser. You could argue for Seaside being good. Oh yeah, that's true. He also did get a stab, which will go on, which also will make him tankier. So we'll keep going through it. That is very tanky, Ludicolo. There's no reason you should be dying easily from that. I don't know what teams you're going against that your DJ Basar dies to that. Especially if you have your DJ Basar on something like a Water's Origin, they should never kill him easily. But let me see some of those stuff. Landy will still be really good against Chu, but it's a cool fighter trifecta. It's just really cool. It's just nice, right? I just think Squirrel could cheat. Yeah, I mean that's true, but it's just cool, right? I like the interaction, but the thing about it is she's not just that Robbie counter. Because a lot of people are just gonna be like, oh, she's just a Robbie counter. No, she's more than that. Even if there's no Robbie, she still has a really impressive kit. Because when you look at it, the S2 now just doubles the amount of focus you gain when you do the S1. That means that you can get the S2 to 5 focus in 3 turns, assuming you don't have her on counter set, right? If you have her on counter set, it's way faster, right? So I wonder if counter set is gonna be like the thing to go on her. I just wonder if it's gonna be something that you could actually use. Then as far as the S2, they actually fixed some of the biggest problems that she had. You can just raw use the S2 now. You can legit just open with S2 now. Before, you have to like kind of like think about, do I want to use S2 now? I'm still kind of far from focus. Should I wait? Well, now you don't need to wait. You can just S2 and you get the 50% penetration, which is, again, amazing. And you can just soul burn it for more damage. 50% damage penetration is nothing to laugh at. That's the same the defense penetration that Rylet has, right? Granted, this isn't a bruiser, so she's not going to be one-shotting everything, but it is going to be doing significant damage to other units. So it's nice. It's good. It's actually pretty good single target DPS. The thing that I really like about this skill now is when it gets max focus, you get a massive heal. I am curious how big the heal is going to be. I kind of want to see the ratios when it comes out. Because if this heal is really big, right? Let's say like you are below 50%. If this can get you from below 50% to over 75%, right? Like a 25% heal, that's nuts. That's just really good, right? It's just really good, right? So it's a lot of damage, right? Overall, and yes, Tab Water is not the strongest right now. Not single target DPS, but there is like, I mean, with DJ Basar, we can talk about him later on, but let's just keep going through it. But overall, Chu, I'm really happy with. I think it's a good buff, right? I know not a lot of people like how she looks, but she's a good unit. Like she's definitely is gonna see a lot more play. She's a good bruiser. She penetrates defense. She sets up anti-crit buff, which is, it's RNG, but it's annoying. She has self-immunity with the S3, and now she can heal, right? She has everything. She has self-sustain, she has damage, and she has tankiness. That's all that bruisers need to be a good bruiser. It's just perfect. So that's nice. I like this. Now on to Crimson Armin. This one, I don't know how I feel about this one. Crimson Armin still has her old counters. This is a nice quality of life change buff. Crimson Armin has always been in a weird spot because it's always that she is a good defensive unit, but it just always like she's taking away a slot from another knight, or you're overcommitting to only having her as your damage mitigation, right? But this will be interesting in arena defense and stuff. She still has her old counters, which are Bazaar, and she has the new counter that's Briar, which has Saria. But now the S1 being 100% to provoke is really nice. That's a really nice quality of life change. There's no reason this should have not been 100% like forever. It can definitely be annoying. It can make the opponent, you can disrupt the opponent. It can stop a lot of combos. It can just be annoying over time. So it gives her overtime presence. The other one is that you no longer have the crit rate requirement. The only thing that I see this being really helpful against, it's actually going against Last Rider Crawl. Because now Crimson Armin can hold onto Aureus, which already takes away some of Last Rider Crawl's damage. And this will also reduce Last Rider Crawl damage, right? So that is huge when paired with something like Estene, right? So that's actually pretty significant. There's not a lot of other units that do like damage without critting, but it's just nice and consistent, right? There's not a lot of units that don't crit, that are DPS. The biggest one I can think of is like Emil Haste, Last Rider Crawl, Sage Ball, Crow. Those four, this will actually mitigate them now, which is nice, right? It's definitely not bad at all. So it's good. So this one is pretty good, but I just don't know if she'll see the same play in arena defense, because I just don't know what team you would take her with. Maybe like an A Tywin Crimson Armin team might be very annoying for the opponent to deal with. The Crimson Armin holds double Knight Artifact. The A Tywin can be on Elric Sword or Holy Sacrifice, and then you still have slots for like 2 other units that maybe can give you turn 1, and then or 1 unit that's like a big damage dealer, and they could be really annoying, right? I could see it. It could be interesting. It's a nice quality of life change buff. I don't think it's gonna make her super broken. She still has the same counters, but it will definitely make her more annoying because it's a 1 night double Knight Artifact. Chu's really cool. I actually really like Chu. All right, now Troublemaker Crossing. This one I think was an amazing buff. Out of all the units we talk about, I think actually all of the buffs were really good. I can't even say one was better than the other because they're all really, really good. But Troublemaker Crosssets, I actually see him being really good in Guild Wars. I don't know if Tav, if you're still here, but I do wonder how good he's going to be in Guild Wars. Because with this new change, it makes it pretty spicy. And even in RTA as well, it also like, it's pretty nasty in the right teams. Like I can see him with Ross and like a heavy single target damage dealing unit like a Landy or a Rylet or a Spectre Tenebria. And he could really make your life miserable. The big thing is going to be the buff to this S1. If you give him Elric Sword, you now are able to have a 60% stun when you proc Elric Sword. That's huge. That's super disruptive. That's super annoying, especially if they're trying to kill your target unit. That can be really good, really consistent. This second one increases combat range with the caster by 15% and has a receive the damage 40% damage suffered by one on in the back row. Only has damage attack. Increases combat range with the caster by 34% and has a chance to counter attack. So I believe this one the backline is hit. Right? Yeah, when you attack the backline, he just gets CR push now. So if you hit the backline with an AoE skill, he just gets a free CR push. And then you just get a counterattack for free. So if you have Elric Sword and this, you have huge chances of counterattacking. You're increasing your combat range as if they touch your backline. That's already going to be getting a huge... This is insane. Y'all realize that 40% damage reduction? This is a 40%... This is just a 40% Aureus. It's just insane. 40% damage reduction. Imagine this with Artemis Mercedes. I just want you to think. Imagine this with Artemis Mercedes. Artemis Mercedes was at 70% chance to just not 70% damage reduction. If you put this with Artemis Mercedes or with DJ Bazaar, or you put it with the Rylet, it's just like better Seaside. Or with a Landy, it's just better Seaside at that point. This is crazy. Like this was already strong. But this just makes it incredibly more annoying that he can actually cut in and just annoy you. And then if he counterattacks, he has a higher chance to stun. It's actually really good. And then lastly, this ultimate, it just gives you more souls. But what it used to do and what it always has done is it increases defense. And it also like dispels all debuffs, right? So really, really powerful. It's really, really good. And then the AI got fixed to always prioritize the back row. right? Or the debuffed ally. It's just super good. The priority is always going to be the back row, right? This is always going to be the back row, which is just super good for arena defense in Guild Wars. I really do think this is going to be probably a huge change to Guild Wars. I actually think that arena Guild Wars is going to be one of the defenses. It's going to be like the T-Surin, FCC, and then the X unit, and then the second one is probably going to be Troublemaker Cross It, maybe like a Landy or a Rylet, and then some other toxic unit that you can put in there and can do damage or like mitigate damage, right? I could actually see that. What? The other part, it's just nice. It's just really good. And I don't think it was always like this one is not like, I know it's this one, but sometimes it used to do some weird stuff. But it just feels good. It just feels like he'll be pretty spicy. I could actually really see him as a really good Guild Wars unit. I don't know if it's just me. I do have one. It's just I don't have the MOLA investment right now to be able to build them. But I think it'll be really good for Arena and Guild Wars. It's a nice change. This one is a super nice change because you can actually cut in, take extra turns, be annoying. And then this one is super nice because it's more consistent stun. More chance to tilt your opponent. It's good. So let me see some of the other stuff. It's going to be really annoying. It's going to be really annoying. That's the big one. The only thing, LQC, okay, the thing about it though, if you're focusing Troublemaker Cross It, that means the backline unit is getting to do its job. Right? That's what makes Troublemaker Cross It so interesting. And I wonder if because he has the own CR push, if you hit the backline, if maybe putting him on counter set might be the play. So that way you have the counter set in case they decide to focus him down. Or if they decide to hit the backline, then he's getting turns and countering, right? So I'm really curious what he's going to be. It seems very annoying, right? Very high chance to stun and disrupt your team. Very good opportunities right here. Just really nice. I do know the Rylet, but the thing about it's like, it's really hard to kill a Rylet with this 40% damage mitigation. And on top of that, he can just cleanse afterwards, right? And give a buff, depending on what it is. It may not be Rylet. I think it would be most likely be Landy. I could really see a Landy. Not a Rylet in particular, but a Landy could be really good. Most likely a Landy going to be with him, I would think. In the back line. That's what I would potentially put. Would be that. But it's just interesting. But Rylet, yeah, Rylet's not great, but he's really good in Arena. On your level 3 expedition, try Tywin F. Flurry Tama Luna. I don't have my Tywin build red 23, but I do think that Tywin can be really, really good. Oh, is that just a Luna spammer? That's a Luna spam bot team. That's interesting, actually. It's a cool team because F. Flurry also does get her own thing. But yeah, it's just good. It's just nice. It's just nice. It's just more consistent. The counter attack is more consistent. His own CR push makes it more annoying. Oh yeah, let me see. Are you pulling Ida? Yes, I'm pulling Ida. I already have all the Guilty Gear units. I don't really care about the new Guilty Gear. I don't think they'll release a new Guilty Gear unit. I thought they would, but the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't think they will. Because they already have the 3 for that trio banner, right? So there's no point for them to try to add another unit. Unless they just wanted to add Aino, which would be really cool. But I think I have more than enough to summon for Ida and for the new unit for the GG collab. So I'll be fine. I'm definitely pulling for Ida though. Maybe they'll actually pull Ethel. That's actually true. But alright, let's look at the other ones. So now it's Kawana. I mean, this one is just, I don't think Smilegate knows what they're doing too much with their heroes. Because Kawana had a really cool interaction that it's all when your team is fire, right? That was her cool interaction. It's still a cool change though. Attacks all enemies, you can just attack all allies. That's really cool. But you don't get the skill nullifier unless your team is all fires. Or when it's just fire heroes, right? So you have to have multiple fire heroes, which is not always great, right? But attacks all enemies, attack buff. Yeah, that's nice. That's cool. You get some more speed. So maybe cleave? I'm kind of curious actually. Can you use her to cleave now? Wait, let me double read this. There's no, you can do a full fire. Can you do a full fire cleave? There's no way, right? Because this part of the passive only happens when it's all fire. Which sucks. That this is when it's all fire. Right? this does dispel and stun, right? So that's cool. That's always nice, right? But I'm kind of curious. I wonder if you can actually do a full fire. It just sucks that it's a cool concept. It's a very cool concept. Like all fire heroes. That sounds really cool. It's just that right now she doesn't have a lot of places where she would be useful besides like Golem. So she's not really PvE. So she should be PvP. But for PvP, she needs to have all fire to get the CR push. And she gets more damage as well. I'm wondering if you could actually do a Kawana cleave. Who's a replacement for SSB? If you already have Sigrid, Furious works really well. Karen works well. I don't use Seaside for Wyvern. I actually use General Purgus Frontline, Karen, Furious, and Sigrid. Right? And it works really well for me. It's not 100%, but it does what I need it to do. But yeah, this is cool. It's interesting. The only problem, she still has her old problem. She needs all fire units. If you draft a mono team in RTA, you're getting deleted, right? If you draft a full mono team, it'd be fun, right? You could probably pull it off with the right gear and the right team composition. But I just don't, she doesn't seem like she has a place. That's why I don't like that Smaug did this buff. That's weird. She still has the reliance for the, if they took off this requirement, she'd actually be really good. But it'd be cool. It looks cool. It just has too much dependency on all being fire. Which, again, it is also cool. It looks really fun. It's okay having fun units. I'm sure someone's going to make a fire cleave. And I'm really excited to watch the fire cleave if someone does make it. It looks like it'd be really cool. It looks fun. But it's alright. So, yeah, it could be fire cleave. I mean, it's just you can't do this in RTA. Unless you're like low. Unless you're in a low tier and you have better gear than your opponent. Yeah. Yeah, it's just all fire heroes have to be... they should legit just give her the damage and just make it fire heroes get it. I just don't know why they have to force you to bring all fire heroes for her. It's cool. It's a cool concept, but it's just Epic 7 doesn't it's not too kind to full mono teams unless it's full ML team. If you have a full light team, you're probably winning the RTA fight. So full RGB mono teams don't do good. Helga, this one was just weird. The damage is cool. I mean, it's still really fun. Like, I know there's like that Helga cheese. And they added her the all earth elemental heroes. It's cool. I said high with the highest attack. That's so weird. That's so weird. That is such a weird buff. I mean, I think they're trying to experiment with mono teams, but they would have to make content that really requires you to. Here's my theory. I do have Seal Arena, but I don't have her fully built. Alright, here's my theory. Alright, here's a theory that I have that Smaug's gonna do, and I talked about it earlier. You guys know how we just got the expedition change, right? And you guys know how tilting it is to get the lower substat change stones in Expedition 3. I think they're gonna release an Expedition 4. And I think this is why they're starting to introduce this mono team units, because maybe they'll make it so like they have a huge disadvantage if you don't have full mono teams, right? I don't know. Maybe that's what they're experimenting with, and then maybe they want to make you like some really crazy expedition teams that just like force you to bring certain teams, right? I could see that. I could see it. I could see it. That's what I think they're doing, because they're introducing a lot of these mono teams, and the only place you'd use mono teams is PvE. I could also see them making another PvE content that makes you want to bring mono teams. So that could be something why they're experimenting with that now. But yeah, that's it. Nothing crazy with these 3-star, 4-stars. I don't think it's gonna change anything about them. They're still gonna be like not so great. But it's a step in the right direction ish. They're better than they were before. Let's just put it that way. They're better than they were before. Big one, Troublemaker Cross. It looks super annoying. I think it's super, super nice that he has higher chance to stun, gets increased combo awareness when you hit the backline. I think that's just amazing. It's just so much more toxic. He's always been kind of a sleeper unit too. Like, he's actually a really annoying unit already. It just makes people put him and just know that he's super annoying now. And then of course, I really do think DJ Bassar will be really good. And then as far as the artifact, this one's really cool. because it's an increase. It's a straight crit rate increase. But what's really cool now is you also get critical hit damage. This is single-handedly, I believe, the highest stat boost item that we have in the game, second only to maybe Strake's Gauntlet. I actually think this could make certain cleaves super viable, because you guys know how many stats you're saving with this. If you have a maxed out Black Hand of the Goddess, right, you can theoretically have a mage with 76 crit rate, and that's 100% crit rate on their first opening skill. That could be really good for a nice pop cleave. So the only one I can think about right now that could really benefit from this is Cowrick, right? Because that's the one that got released for. But what other fire mages are just like big damage dealers? I know Tenebria could potentially use this. It'll be really interesting. Oh yeah, the Ida unit, Ida could use this. Could be pretty good. Oh, Camway, I can't use the face cam because it's not working today, sadly. Right, my face cam, I'm trying to turn it on, but it's just not working. So I don't know why. It's just not showing today. So I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, it's just, oh, Vivian, yeah. But the thing about it is Vivian takes more than one turn. That's the problem with Vivian. Vivian takes more than one turn if you're trying to set up S3 unless someone sets it up for you. Melissa would be interesting, but I feel like that's very aggressive for one unit kill. Like, you would kill any unit in this game, yes, but that's very overcommittal. And yes, you also lose access to book. I don't know. Right now, I could see some cool cleaves with it. It'll be interesting if they ever release an insanely high. Oh wait, y'all, Ludwig, bro, can't Ludwig use this? That could be pretty crazy. You could actually get like a super high attack Ludwig now. Huh. That's really cool. Wait, that's actually really cool. Wait, Ludwig would be really interesting. Man, if I had a Ludwig, I would try this out so fast on him. I do have one. Actually, I shouldn't even say that because I have one fully maxed out and everything. You guys are going to make me want to try this now. But I don't have a Black Hand of the Goddess, so I can't try it out. Because with this, if you bring like a Sedum as well, you can literally not put crit rate on your Ludwig, have the crit rate buff from like a Sedum, and just have like a 5k 350 crit damage Ludwig. Wait, I want to see how much damage that would do. I'm actually really curious now. I just need to see this. I'll go back to talking about the buffs in a second, but I'm just really curious now. We don't have Black Hand of the Goddess, so let's just put anything, but we'll put it in there, right? So let's assume with the thing, you would have 300. I think with this, you could actually easily get to 5k attack, if not more. You can probably get to 6k, right? And let's say you give him increased attack. Castellan's invincible. Dude, that looks like a ton of damage. Holy cow. Can you imagine your load? Okay, let's see on a 19, right? Let's say there's full damage mitigation. Let me just type it in. Wait, I'm just really curious because this just looks like it could be really cool for it. And let's say it's like an FCC. Dude, every time I do this damage calculation, I get so sad. Every single time I put on Aureus and Adamant Shield, I realize why it's so broken. Y'all realize how much the damage went down because of Ada Aureus? Like, if we took those out, he does insane damage, right? But because those are there, he can't even one-shot a full tank team. He loses 6. That's still really good. 13k damage. That's pretty good. And I'm sure there's probably someone that could probably get him to 6k. Some crazy like that. I don't know. That's cool. It's interesting. Some food for thought. I just think it's some food for thought because the thing about it, it's like the raw crit rate increase allows you to save 5 extra rolls, which is an extra. How much extra damage is that? 24% extra crit rate is an extra. That's 5 rolls. That's like 40% attack. You have to think about this. If you think about this straight conversion, the crit rate is 40% attack, and then you just get raw crit damage that you can put into more attack now too, to get 350 crit damage. That's crazy. That's actually really cool. I think it'll be interesting. The other big one is the Soul Weaver one. Tema is getting a small little buff from the stats. So Desert Bazaar is getting a stat boost. He's getting effect resistance as a awakening, which is just absolutely amazing. And it's actually kind of insane. And his base attack actually goes up even without the awakening. This is a huge, huge deal because you can actually make DJ Bazaar have really high FRS now if you have imprints on him, which I do. So with this change, if you have imprinted DJ Bazaar, he starts at 45% effect resistance. That's really strong. That's without putting any gear on him. Just the imprints. He already starts at 45% effect resistance. That's great. That just makes it a lot easier to build. The attack is nice because he still scales off of attack for some reason. So thankfully they didn't drop his attack. So it's a nice update. And Tema got this too, as well as Blaze Dingo. So Tema has a little bit more too, right? Pretty cool. Inos is pretty cool too that she gets it. All the Sagittarius will get the little stat boost. They essentially get a little bit more attack and they get more effect resistance, which is cool. So all in all, what are my thoughts on this patch? What do I think about it? I think at first I was very disappointed because I didn't see any of the units that I thought were going to get it. I didn't see any of the units that I wanted to get it. And I was kind of sad at first. But the more I read the patch, the more I was like, it's not a bad patch. Because it doesn't necessarily just turn the meta on its head, which is actually not a bad thing. Because there's already units that are coming out and shaking up the meta on a monthly basis. There's already meta changing units every month. So it's nice that it's not a huge meta changing patch, but it is enough to put some units into relevancy. What is also nice is that they're just putting more options for players, right? With Crimson Armor and Troublemaker Cross it, Knights right now are very polarized, right? There's very specific Knights that are overpowered. The rest of the Knights are just okay. So this is really cool that they're giving more options for the Knight options so you can have more defensive options. Chu being a bruiser, water is a super weak element. Water is probably the weakest element right now, which is weird to say that, but because it's mostly just Seaside and Cerise, right? And F10A. It's like they don't really have big damage dealers in water. Kise is kind of squishy right now and she gets countered by the same units that Landy does. So water's in a weird spot right now. It's not that it's a bad element, it's just it doesn't have that many. None of the elements are bad. Let me rephrase that before you guys are like, bro, but you have all these broken water units. Yes, you do. It's all the RGB units are missing something. Like each of the elements is missing something. Water was missing a good bruiser. Everyone wanted Luna to be that bruiser, but she wasn't. And now we got Chu, right? So that's cool. So water lost one of its weaknesses because now you can properly counter Ravi really, really hard with a bruiser, which is not something you could do before. So water's got a bruiser. DJ Bazaar is definitely usable and will definitely be pretty spicy. And then these other two, I could definitely see the people experimenting with them in Guild Wars and in Arena. So really, really cool patch. All in all, it's cool. It's some unique units. But not bad. Yeah, I mean, they do have SSB, but SSB is not really a brew. She's weird because the thing about it is because she's forced to AoE, it's like amazing. At the same time, it also makes her just die. So all in all, good patch. I'm happy with it. It's super spicy. Nothing crazy though. So it's not like it's gonna turn the meta on its head. But it's definitely huge hit to control though, because now they have another option to counter control, which is DJ Bazaar. This patch got us DJ Bazaar buffed, which is a really good counter to control, and it got us Emma Lilibet, which is a really strong counter to control. So really big buffs to anti-control. Huge buffs for anti-control. So that's good, right? A lot of people hate control. So now y'all have tons of options. ML options as well. But that's it for as far as the patch stuff goes, right? So it was a cool patch. But now let's see how it's going to change the meta. So that's what we're going to be getting up for the last part of this stream. Is going to be talking about the current champion RTA meta. And I'm going to stop this wyvern. I'm going to end at this wyvern run, and then we're going to talk about the current champion RTA meta. Because the high champion, you may not know, some of these units are actually just insane. So I'm going to pull up a tier list maker. We're going to be making a tier list. A mini tier list. And we can debate if you don't think a unit should go up there, or if you're confused why a certain unit is where they are, let me know. I might make a video on this. It's just the season ends so soon that I don't know if we're going to be able to. But let me see. Let me pull up the tier list maker. and we're gonna make a mini tier list. This is really important because the thing about it is if you have these units built and you're in low ranks of RTA, you can actually abuse some of the strategies in your lower ranks and potentially get some free wins against the opponent. So that's what makes it really, really nice, right? Getting free wins against your opponents for knowing what the meta is, right? You can be a meta sheep and climb your way all the way up. This may not surprise you. You may already have seen posts about it, but if you don't know, here's kind of like what's strong, what's not strong. This is not like non-official, right? I'm not gonna be held like I'm not gonna make it super tight and super detailed. We're gonna go through it and kind of go through the units that are good. So let me pull this up. All right, so let me try to remake this. I always forget this one. If y'all are curious on the tier list I'm making, this is actually a really full one. And then we'll see where the new units land up after the buffs. But this is the one I use. It's actually really cohesive and they update it pretty often, which I think is really cool. I think I can just... There's a button I think at the bottom. Yeah, reset. Alright, there we go. So you guys know I hate this type of tier list because it's very subjective. Epic 7 is a very subjective game. So we're going to put it as first pick or ban. So these are units that you're either first picking or banning, right? These are the most commonly first picked or banned units right now. That it's just, I don't know why, like these units are just kind of crazy. This is going to be like meta. Like these are not necessarily stronger than these. It's just these have more priority. Right? They just have higher priority on the pick order. These are the meta ones. So it's going to be units that are very, very strong. These are going to be counter picks. Counter picks do go up pretty high. Actually, yeah, let's put strong. Just strong if they're very strong. Counter pick. And then let's put below counter pick. Let's put good. And let's add two more tiers below it. You guys know how I like to do my tier list. If you guys have watched any of my tier list making things, you guys know how I feel, how I like the tier list to look like. I'm not gonna be super fancy about the colors. I'm probably gonna make this in the future and refine it as I discuss with more people. Let me put one below. All right, let's do this. All right, let's go through. Katie's, oh man, she's an amazing counter pick. We're just gonna go through. Do you guys want me to talk about each one as I put it, or do you want me to make the tier list and talk to you guys as I make it? Which one would y'all prefer? Would y'all like me to make it right now, just not talk about it and then go through it? Or would you guys want me to talk about it as we go? I can show you my thoughts as I put it. But yes, G-Perk is insane right now. He's probably the highest one. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, it's... Let me sell this hunts. I guess since I'm gonna be resetting this, I can just keep running more hunts. So we're gonna be doing a mini tier list. While you guys answer my question, we will reset this. Alright. One at a time? Alright. Talk as I go? Alright. Let's do it. Let's do it. And when I get to the new units, I'll also talk about them and I'll be like, I think they're gonna be here or not. Hey, what's up, level 6 Ryan? Alright, let's do this. Tier list time. Katie's arguably the best cleanser right now in the game. If you have a good Katie's build, she's insane. She's the best cleanser. The amount of healing that she can do, the cycling potential, the fact that the opponent literally gets one turn to kill your Arcades. That's all he gets. Every other turn, he has to try to kill the Arcades. He gets one turn to kill her, and if he doesn't kill her in that one turn, good luck, right? GG, right? You have very few turns. Once she sets up, you legit have like opening windows. It's just insane the amount of healing that she does, the cleansing, the everything. It's too much. She's probably the best counter to control. Adley is a niche counter to cleave. He actually works pretty well because he can actually strip and like reduce cooldown. So it's actually not. He can't strip. Does he strip? I'd have to check. Abid is a good counter to cleave, right? Mostly for cleave teams that don't normally even run immunity, but it actually can counter them pretty well. Ross, meta. I don't think he's first pick potential anymore. Like, he's not a priority pick or ban right now. There's other first pick or ban units, but Ross is still insane, y'all. Ross is still, for a 3-star unit, this unit is just insane to me how strong this unit still is to this day. The amount of combos he opens up, the amount of damage he does. Rise of the Monarchs with a cycling barrier for T-Cern or Landy just makes it extremely toxic because he takes so many turns because his S1 gives him CR push that he can actually CR push himself, take turns, apply barriers, and be super annoying, right? It's just so annoying. It's super toxic. Ainz, you should just not use. Alencia, she's not meta, but she's actually strong. This should not be here. Let me delete this real quick. All right, Alencia is still strong. She's still very good. Very good matchup against Landy. Still very good against buff heavy teams, and it's still a good bruiser, right? So she still can do a lot of work. She's not necessarily meta. She's not something that you're priority picking. She's not something that like everyone's gonna fight you for. But if you have her, you can actually definitely pick her, and she'll be very, very strong. I pick her a lot because I like her against Landy. I actually really do, because she's able to strip them and set up some nasty combos. Wanda is kind of meh. I mean, yeah, she counters Riley, but she doesn't really do much, right? There's better archers out right there right now. Tywin. This one's hard. He's not necessarily a... This one's really hard. I'm going to put him up here. He can single-handedly carry games. Shuffles would disagree with Alencia. I know Shuffles would disagree. Shuffles loves Alencia. I'm not saying she's bad. I just don't think she's like broken, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I think I have to put a Tywin in here. A Tywin is a broken unit. I think because I own a Tywin, I don't realize to the extent of how powerful he is because I'm the one that's usually using him. But I have to admit that whenever I go against an A Tywin, it is so hard. The popular build right now is immunity set A Tywin with a ton of crit damage. So even if you bring anti-control, it doesn't matter if you're still taking 5k, 6k AoE every time he soul burns his S3. He does so much damage on a crit damage build. He stuns, he speeds down, he provokes, he takes away souls, he's tanky, has access to Holy Sacrifice, Elric Sword, is still a knight. He's insane. He does pretty much everything. The soul burn cycling on a damage A Tywin is just absolutely broken right now. It's super powerful. But yeah, we're doing a tier list right now, Dawn. We're doing a tier list. It's not official. I may make another one for a video, but this is my initial thoughts right now before the end of the season. This is what I'm thinking, right? This is what I'm feeling. Maybe I should do one this next week. I'll redo this with some of the points that you guys bring up, and I'll have people actually like overlook it and then change it up a little bit. But this one's huge. I have to give it to A Tywin. You know, like A Tywin is just he's too much right now, dude. He's too much. He has too many counter, too much work right now. But yeah, I agree with you, Heist. They're definitely up there. It's a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here because I think he's first with potential. She's good. Sinful Angelica, I wouldn't say she's strong, but she's good. In the right team composition, she can really pop off. There are some people that just know how to use Sinful Angelica so well and have these amazing godlike teams. They're like godlike Ross, like 260 speed Ross that are still like 25k HP and super tanky, and they pick Ross and Sinful Angelica and then like a Stene or a Landy, and then you're just like, why are they doing so many dual attacks? Why are they just taking a million turns? And then you just get like deleted. So it still can do a lot of work. It can actually counter RB pretty well too. Very strong, right? Angelica you should just not use. Hey Robbie, this one's another one that I'm just like, she's hard to place. Why? Right now, there are a lot of good bruisers out there. There are a lot of good knights. There are a lot of units that know how to deal with a Robbie. But a Robbie in Japan, in the right team with Ross and with like an attack buffer, is still really good. So it's really hard for me to place her between strong or good, because she doesn't see that much representation, except like in Japan, she sees crazy amount of representation. It's just hard. It's just hard to place a Robbie because she's a very hard unit to use, very hard unit to gear. But if you know how to use her and how to gear her, she's actually very powerful. I don't think she's super strong right now in the meta, but she's good. She can definitely still win you fights in the right settings by herself and solo, but it's hard to say where she would be. It's hard to put her in the best place, right? And the thing about it is LQC being so strong right now, it's kind of rough for her. Armin, I'm gonna put in the good. She's actually pretty solid knight. She's annoying. She can do debuffs. Her S2 is super toxic. Her S3 heal and buffs are just annoying. A good knight, right? Good supportive knight that can also potentially put a glancing hit on Landy, right? Even if she's Landy stealthed it through an FCC, she does have that AoE that can apply glancing hit. Pretty nice, right? Not a bad knight at all. Pretty solid knight. Arrowell, just don't. Assassin Cartuja, he just I don't even want to put him in niche. I don't think people even use him for anti-control. It's just there are so many ways to counter Assassin Cartuja. You're basically praying for RNG. I almost don't want to put him in niche, but I guess you could technically use him. Hey, Kali, she's actually really strong right now. The fact that she has immunity on her S3, the fact that she can speed contest units like Vivian. If you get a soul burn, you can take out any damage threat on the opponent. The reason she's not higher on the list is because of Guiding Light and units like Spectre Tenebria. You can't do much against those type of units, right? But she does have a really good matchup against units like a Tywin and General Purgus if you manage to get a CC. So she's very reliant on having that barrier, or she's mostly just going to be a 1-for-1, right? But at worst, she's a 1-for-1. At best, if you have a FCC with her, she can be a nasty unit. I use her a lot. I really like her. She does so much single target damage. It's nuts how much damage she does. And if they don't have ways to deal with her, they're just screwed. Especially like with Basar. If they have a Basar, you're screwed though. So that's why she's strong, but not meta. Acela, no. Sage Ball. He's not first pick priority, but he's meta. Sage Ball, part of the Golden Boys. Sage Ball's cycling is just ridiculous. His sleep potential on S1 is ridiculous. His tankiness is ridiculous. His S3 damage, being able to just kill units, is crazy. The amount of stuff that this unit can do in the right team is just absolutely filthy. He can legit win the game with an S2. This unit can legit win the game with an S2. If he uses the S2, you are done. If he hits everyone. If you're a cleave player. If you're a control player, same thing. Tank player, they'll just hold on their S2 and they'll take so many turns that you'll just be like, why can't I move? Why is that unit perma-locked? Why is this unit perma-CC'd? That's how disgusting Sage Ball S1 is, right? He can just cycle you so hard and you can't really focus him down, because if you're trying to focus him, he's gonna eventually just S3 you and kill you. So it's a unit that you can't really focus, that can lock down a unit, that can cycle, still does damage, and it's just extremely annoying, extremely toxic. Such a good unit. I love using my Sage Ball. Super toxic. Super toxic. Ball, I'm just you could make him work. I'm just gonna say that. He's good for Expedition though. He's actually a G in Expedition. Baiken is niche. I could see Baiken popping off. It's just because she has such good single target damage recently, and because she doesn't I could see her. I could see it. I've seen some good Baikens with like Alexa's Basket or with RNL that can sometimes pop a unit. Basar, this one is starting to get here. It's getting to the point where it's starting to get here, but I still think he's here. It's starting to get here because Basar is becoming that much of a priority. But the thing about it is, if you first pick Basar, you're giving away a lot. Mainly General Purgus. That's the big one. Or Last Rider Craw. Or a Tywin. Right? So there's still a slightly more priority than him, but he's right there. Right? So once you secure your General Purgus or your a Tywin, you want to make sure you have your Basar to counter whatever they're going to pick. He's extremely powerful. Counters Landy. Counters SCC. Counters Last Rider Craw. Counters everything, honestly. You don't know how fast he is, so he can just be extremely fast, and then you can just get cleaved. It's just a really strong unit. There's very few games that I get to draft him and lose, because once he sets up that S3, you're guaranteed turn 1. You're guaranteed to set up everything you want. They have unable to be buffed that if they can't deal with, they lose. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's hard. It's hard to say. He would be one of those units that I would have to ask more people that are like that. I have a lot of legend contacts to see where they would put him. I want to ask them before I release a video with the final tier list. But I want to put him here because he's almost there. He's almost here, but not quite. He's right there. He's still uber strong. He's just not a first pick ban type of unit yet. Keyword yet. He might get here soon. He's just a speed imprint, which is really good. I guess I could put speed imprint separately. Broman, he's actually good. I think Broman can actually do pretty good in this meta. It's just very RNG. You can either just win the game or you lose the game. But the problem with Broman is there's so many anti-control floating around that it kind of hits him a little bit more. And he kind of got replaced by F10A. But against FCZ teams, he's still really strong. And you can still definitely see success with Benella and Broman. Especially because he has such a high effectiveness potential. Because he's a 4-star, you'll easily be able to give him triple S. He has high base starting effectiveness. You can get insane effectiveness Bromans that can land even on cleansers. So that's why he's actually still really strong compared to something like F10A. BBK, I've seen some BBKs here and there. They're pretty spicy. Emoken, I've seen some FRS Emokens that can actually pop off. So I'll put them in niche and not in meh. Because I actually have seen Emokens that are full FRS and can beat control teams. Because control teams typically don't have the damage to deal with Emoken. So they just end up losing. Briarwitch Asteria, I don't know if Reddit is still thinking she's bad. I think I saw a post recently when they were releasing the buffs. And they were like, buff Briarwitch Asteria. And I was like, really now? Really? So Briarwitch Asteria is insane. Same thing as Basar. But she has attack break and doesn't have the consistency that Basar has. Or the pushback. So she's more of a damage dealing Basar. But the nice thing is that she's dark and has increased hit chance. So she'll never miss. As in like she'll never miss a unit. She'll always hit. Even with Riley, she has super high. She's a top tier unit. She's amazing. If anyone ever told you that she's not OP, they're misguided. They are probably in low elo, which is fine. And they don't know the true value of Iseria. But even if you're in lower brackets, just start picking by Iseria, dude. People do not know how to deal with her properly. She's insane. Armentia, she's meh. She doesn't really have anything. Ricker is meh. Time to put a bunch of meh, like trash ones in meh. So these are, I don't think I need to like speak on these. Iseria, she's fallen into niche, but it's kind of sad to see. It's just there's so many other priority units to Iseria that not Briarwitch, just regular Iseria. There's a lot of more prio picks than Iseria. She's very single target heavy. She does have potential though. I do think she could eventually get to the good later down the line because there's a lot of big S3 units out right now, like Last Rider Crawl, General Purgus, FCC, that could definitely benefit from an Iseria, but it's just she takes a slot of another unit. That's why I want to put her in niche. I don't think she's up there yet. Incross, the thing about against super tanky team comps, they lose the FCC advantage and the Last Rider Crawl advantage. But it's the Briarwitch Iseria, it's really strong. The thing about it, it's a lot of teams rely on buffs right now. That's the biggest thing. It's just buffs are so important in this game, and Briarwitch and Basar just destroy them. That's what's so good. Single target damage is in a weird spot right now. It's not easy to just put over them. Yeah, she's not bad. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just she's not a bad unit. It's just hard to justify picking her. CC is like I actually think she has potential because A Tywin is so popular. Having an immunity setter like CC is nice. I'll put her in good. She's still good. She's still a good knight. I do want to build mine because I don't have a lot of counters to CC, and she kind of slaps me. No, to A Tywin. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of counters to A Tywin, and she does a pretty good job against A Tywin. The S3 is nice. The S2 is really good against units like Landy because you're able to strip Landy's buffs, and you're also to set up an attack decrease, right? Or either I think it's one or the other. So pretty solid, right? Oh no, it's attack break and strip, which is really good against Landy. So I think she has potential. If you don't get A Tywin, she's a pretty decent A Tywin counter, and can actually do pretty good against Landy. She has potential to be good. So she has potential to be really, really strong as a unit. She is the speed imprint contester. She is a counter pick unit for Cleave. Cerise is meta. It's just so powerful. Not in a control team necessarily. She's still the thing about Cerise is she's so versatile. She can be in a control team. She can be in a cleave team. She can be in a tank team. She can dual attack. She can stun. She can stop General Purgus, which is really good right now. If you can stop General Purgus with an S3, that is a godsend. So really, really strong. Cerise is still very, very powerful. Even with Emma Lilibet in the mix, if they have to pick a unit just to counter your Cerise, that's good, right? And even then, she's not even a true counter because you still get the dual attacks, right? So you always, just because of the dual attacks, you get so much consistency with her. And the priority with the S2 later on to just lock an opponent, deny them buffs, it's just very powerful. I've actually seen some really good Sermias out there, so I'm actually going to put her in niche. I've seen some tank Sermias from someone in the Discord, and they're actually really cool. Like, his Sermia is actually really, really cool. I think it's a really cool Sermia. I'll give him that. So I could definitely see her working in the right team with a little bit of some tank. It'd be good. Cdom, not as strong as she was for... Actually, Cleave players still do pick Cdom. Cdom's still really strong. But the problem is mainly I don't have Polides. So I haven't seen a Cdom in a long time. Maybe it's just because I don't see Cleave that often. So I can't speak to Cdom whether she's strong or meta. She's a really powerful Cleave unit and can do a ton of work, and it's amazing setup. But it's just I don't see her as much. So I think I'm gonna put her at strong. I don't see her as much because of Polides. I will say that much. I don't see traditional Cdom Cleaves as often, but I do still see her. So this one, I'm gonna have to refer to some people for the final one, but I'm gonna put him strong for now. Champ C, he's beyond counterpick now, dude. The thing about it is, like, if control is meta, is Champ C really a counterpick? But I'll still put him as a counterpick because he's really just there to counterpick. And it's a really powerful counterpick, right? He counters a lot in the meta. So it becomes a point where it's like, are you really a counterpick if you're good into a majority of the meta, right? It's still a counterpick unit. You can still get countered. So, it's really good though. One of the best counterpicks to control. You want to see the unknown character? If you go... Let me get that for you real quick. I think I can show it to you. I don't know if they put it in here yet though. I know the player that has her. I don't think they've posted it on the Discord yet. I think they posted it privately a long time ago, and I was like, dude, that's insane. That's really cool. But the guy's name is Healer Meta. Right now, I think he has like a name that has something to do with Cerise. So, dude, I really want SC Gloomy. Also, how you doing, Tham? If y'all didn't know, Tham is a Epic 7 / Genshin Impact YouTuber. Mad respect to him. He's super creative with his team composition, so a lot of fun to watch his videos. But yeah, Champ C really, really strong. Make a clear tier player, cleave units, and speed imprints. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Heist. I think I might do that for the final one. Cleave is in its own world, because the thing about Cleave is not necessarily meta, but it's not bad. So it's hard to justify putting them anywhere, because it's like sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're bad. It's just very coin toss. So I'll probably make that for the final one if it makes a video. But yeah, Landy does really good against Champ C. That's the problem. Champ C is still really good against the meta, still really powerful. Charles is just I might get roasted for this. I know there's still people that would actually put Charles here. I just think he's way too inconsistent. Gets countered by Stene, gets countered by Landy, gets countered by Bassar. He just gets countered by so much stuff in the meta right now that it's just like, I usually when I see a Charles, unless you have a god like Charles, I think he's actually, I'm just gonna put him in niche. If you have a god like Charles, then yes. LQC, dude, this unit is probably one of my most wanted units right now. LQC is probably one of the best bruisers right now that you can have. Why? Dude, every time I look at LQC's kit, I'm like, why? Her S3 is on a 3-turn rotation. If y'all don't know, that's the same cooldown as Ross S2. If you think Ross S2s all the time, that's LQC's S3. She has permanent immunity on her S1. All you need to do is make sure you have 20 souls, you soul burn your S3, do a ton of single target damage. If it's a dark unit, you're probably killing that dark unit and doing huge splash damage. And then you can get an S1, get immunity back up again, and then you get one more turn, and then she has S3 back up. And she heals like crazy, because the S3 has heal. She has access to Sigurd Scythe, has access to Hell Cutter, and on top of that is an Adamant Shield carrier, essentially. This unit is nuts. If y'all can't see me, my hands are going like pointing towards the screen like crazy right now because LQC is probably the best bruiser in the game right now. It's just really, really good. LQC is disgusting right now. Charles gives out too many of you. Yeah, it's just, I feel people still are shocked from Charles from the past. People are still in shock from Charles in the past, but he's not that good in RTA. He's fallen off really hard. He's fallen off really hard. Still pretty good for PvE though, and for certain places. But dude, LQC is just filthy, bro. LQC is disgusting. I want this unit so bad. And like the thing about it, bro, TC, my friend, bro. Can I show you LQC, bro? Because this is the type of LQCs that I'm just like, that give me nightmares, dude. Because I fought, TC has one, and every time I fight him, I'm like, why is this unit so toxic? It's a really good unit. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. She's filthy. She's super strong. If you give her godlike gear, she does so much work for you. Charlotte is actually getting a lot stronger. I think Charlotte is actually pretty spicy. She hasn't shown performance yet. The thing that's stopping her a lot are things like Last Rider Craw and General Purgus. That's the biggest two things that are stopping her from being like really powerful. But I think she has so much potential because she does an insane amount of AoE damage. Every single turn she can AoE damage, AoE damage, AoE damage. And it becomes something that the opponent, if they're bringing too much Stannis, right, or Landys, she has a really good matchup against Landy, has a really good matchup against Stannis, right? As long as they don't have a Last Rider Craw, you can do it, or a General Purgus, you can do so much damage, AoE, that it becomes just too much for them to deal with. And if you put them a Holy Sacrifice, you can catch people off guard, right? Bro, damn, no, y'all LQC abusers don't want people hiring LQC. But yeah, Charlotte, again, really, Charlotte has potential to be really good. And I know you use her a lot, Dan, and I think it's just, she has potential. I really want to build her one of these days because I really do think she has the potential to be a really good, I'll put her in counter pick actually, because she's a pretty good counter pick against certain situations. Chloe, I'm gonna put her Met. I know there's that one guy that has that insane single target. There's a guy that showed me his Chloe that has a 200k CP Chloe that he uses for RTA, and I'm just like, why? It's godlike gear, and he has it on Chloe, and he's like, I mean, she one-shots, which is true. She's a really good one-shotter, but Clarissa is just, this is just no. Fighter Maya, really good counter pick, really annoying, really tanky, can counterattack. It's just, this unit can fit right in a good bruiser team and stop some of those pseudo control teams. Bro, TC, they'll definitely appreciate it, bro. They'll definitely appreciate if I show the people the LQC. But all right, let's see the next one. Next up. But yeah, all DPSs should have Molas on their S1s and S3s if you want maximum damage potential. But yeah, Maya, really good, actually. I really want a Maya, I don't have one. So I can't build her or say anything. Steel Arena? No. Him, just no. He looks cool, right? He has potential. He's mini T-Surin, but it's just like he doesn't do the damage T-Surin does. Dark Corvus, I could see someone using him. I could see potential in him, but it's just really not quite there yet. Crimson Armor is good. She's actually really good in certain situations. And the S3 is very polarizing, right? It's just she doesn't have that consistency. Even with the buffs, it's just Basar and Briar Witch Assyria being as popular as there are. It's just Crimson Armor never catches a break, right? Still very good S3. Can definitely win you fights. Still a one night, double night artifact. So if you need to free up space, or if your aggro team needs a little bit of tank, really good in an aggressive team. If you can build like an aggressive team with a fast CDOM, or Crimson Armament, I'm sorry, not CDOM, but fast Crimson Armament, it's pretty snasty. So I think it's really, really cool. He's meh. Dark Corvus is super niche. The effectiveness buff to Frenzy essentially killed Dark Corvus teams. Even if there's a full tank team, all tanks now have some form of provoke, and by Frenzy 4, which is when Dark Corvus starts actually being able to do S3s, you can just lock them down. And the thing about it is the damage increase also got destroyed. So he doesn't do as much damage because his damage is based on HP, which is continuously going down. So not the beast he used to be last season. He's not even a counter pick anymore to tank teams. He's way too slow. Frenzy just destroys him. It's just not great. Before we continue, if you're enjoying, make sure you subscribe and like the video or the stream. I'm sorry, I always mess it up. It really does help the channel grow a lot and helps me make more fun videos and more guides, as you guys saw today with the fire expedition. I have a lot of really good content. I've been really inspired from the new updates to try harder in Epic 7, so a lot of good stuff coming your way. But all right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Sell out done. Destina. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys this because I'm really proud of it. I'll just quit it real quick. I'm working on a Destina, and because in higher up champion, there's these nasty team comps with Destina, General Purgus, and like a Tywin that I had to fight it, and I was just like, Destina is so toxic. So I actually rebuilt my Destina, and I've actually been having quite a lot of success with her, like in Arena and in Guild Wars and everything. And I'm like, wow, Destina's actually a pretty good unit, right? So this is my reworked Destina. I still need to reforge, and I still need to awaken her. But I think once I reforge and I awaken her, she's going to be a monster, right? Because I have like a lot of FRES and a lot of tank stats that I can still get. And it's just, and I can even get more. Actually, I think that's the max FRES. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Ray's like, this is good. I'm really excited for Destina. And I have her friendship level 10, so like that's why I really like her. I think she's great. I have to farm more Banshee so I can reforge these. Because the reforge change just made me be able to do something like this, which is just crazy to me. And then it's just good. Like, I mean, she has good gear pretty much all around. Like, this one could get improved, but it's still pretty good. And there's just so much stuff I can improve. So pretty happy with Destina. I'm actually really happy with her. I think she's good. I think she's solid. I think she's a good unit, right? And yes, I have her on an HP ring. I'm really happy with my Destina. Once I reforge her, I'm gonna be like, oof, this Destina's nasty, bro. So Destina, all I wanted to say from this, let's go back to the tier list. Sorry for taking a detour, but I just wanted to flex my Destina that I've been building, because I really like Destina. She was my second 5-star, so she has a special spot in my heart, which is why I really wanna build it. But okay, let's go back. So Destina, I think she's pretty good. Pretty much, actually just good. I just put her in counter pick, but I think she has potential to eventually come up here because she has so much healing potential and just so annoying. Diani, nothing like she used to be. She's still strong in the right team composition. But again, Bassar, Briarwitch, Iseria, all these tanks are just so good against her. So it's tough with Diani right now. It's not great for her. She could almost go down here. So I don't know. I might save this and I have to go down, but it's not great. But yes, DJ Bassar is going to be insane. D Corvus is very good in Cleave team. Really? Cleave Dark Corvus sounds interesting. Hello, new player here. Kind of, I'm 15 days in a couple hours. Any tips for me to be able to do Wyvern 15? I can only do Wyvern 9. Just keep grinding story for now. As you get more gear and like the free gear from like the quest and the story, you'll get better gear. As you farm other Wyverns, you'll slowly start to get more gear to get more Wyvern 13. It takes a while. It takes some time. Just watch some Wyvern guides to see what the stats you'll need. It will take time. Do the Adventure Path quest. That's the best thing I can tell you because they give you so much good stuff from the Adventure Path quest. You'll be able to get a lot of resources to 6-star the units for Wyvern. Once you get the 6-star units for Wyvern, you'll eventually start getting better gear as you move up. Try to get to Wyvern 10 as soon as possible. Is it? No, there's no counter gear in Hellraid, I don't think. But okay, let's keep going. Dingo, he's mad. I mean, he can work for a cleanser, but it's just mad. Bro, Dizzy has fallen from grace. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Dizzy has really fallen from grace. She's not a strong unit anymore. She's good. There are so many units in this game that punish AoE. There are so many good units in this game that right now, because F10 and Cerise were so popular, everyone has counters to control. So the Dizzy has really fallen out of favor. You barely see her. Because if you pick her, boom, Last Rider Crowd. What do you do against the Last Rider Crowd? It's a must ban, right? If you counter Dizzy and they pick Rowana, you're screwed. If they bring a Ray, what's your Dizzy gonna do? It's gonna take you way too long to actually do something significant. If they bring a Vivian, what are you gonna do? If they bring a Destina, if they bring a Champ C, if they bring, there's just, he has really been, she has really been kicked out. She's still really good in lower brackets. Again, disclaimer. Dizzy is this, or not Dizzy, this tier list is for high champion primarily. In low champion, a lot of things change. LQC is not the monster that she is in high champion in lower brackets. LQC is a very hard to gear unit. If you're trying to get easy dubs with her in lower brackets, you have to have a god like LQC. So disclaimer, this is not an early bracket RTA tier list. This is a high champion tier list where you have optimized gear. In a non-optimized gear setting, some units go up in the tier list. Just a disclaimer. So just disclaimer that if you're some units that are here, that are broken here, are not as broken in lower brackets. Just so you guys know, right? They're still good, but are not going to be as good. And there's some other units that are going to be better, right? So just remember that. Right, I got you guys a spicy LQC. This is one of the best LQCs I've seen. I just think, like, every time I go against this one, it's just amazing. So you guys can see the level of gear quality that you need to have on LQC. When you see this LQC, you realize how the level of quality people have in high champion RTA. Imagine units like this, but on all the units. That's what I said. This is optimized unit. And it's just such a good, this is such a strong LQC. Has solid attack stat. Has amazing critical hit rate. Super good HP. The defense still very powerful, but he did this so he would have the speed to be able to cut in when he uses idle shear. So it's a very specialized LQC for the player that's using her, and it's just amazing. And he can still have potential to grow because, you see here, he can reforge out the effectiveness, not reforge out, he can subset change the effectiveness and the FRES and get even more defense or more health or more crit rate, right? This is the level of gear quality that you can expect in high champion, right? And that's just, man, that LQC is amazing. So toxic. It's so hard to get all those stats. Yeah, that's a disgusting LQC. But it's super good. Charles is top tier in low rank. Yeah. See, it just changes. Right? So the thing about it, it's like it's good for, he's using it for prolonged booster fights. But yeah. It's really good. And I think he's reforging out for the crit rate. I think that's what he's waiting for, is crit rate on the sub changes. That's what he's waiting for, to have 100% crit rate. So he's gonna get to 100% crit rate, which is insane to me. But yeah, that's it. I'm just telling you guys, that whole detour was just to let you guys know that that the gear quality is very high up here. It's not the same thing in lower ranks, but it'll still give you a good idea. DJ Bazaar, after the buff, I think will either be strong or meta. Right now, he's a counter pick, but I think with the buff, he'll actually be strong or meta. I really do think so. I think he might actually be here. Why? A Tywin is so prevalent. Cerise is still really strong. Golden Boys are everywhere. And Golden Boys will love a unit that can give them more CR pushing, that can give them immunity, and that can give them sustain in the fights. Right? So I think he's going to be part of the Golden Squad. Like, you can cycle with Last Rider Carl and make it so he always has his S3, so he has the damage mitigation, and just cycles a bunch, and just, he has potential. He has potential. I'm gonna put him as strong because I think he can get to meta, but I'm gonna put him as strong. Can counter Bazaar, really good, really good unit, really good. Pearl Horizon is very niche. I wanted to finish mine, but I just never got around to it. Dominiel is just kind of meh. She's cool, but she's kind of meh. I don't think this is the specialty change Doris, so I'm gonna put her here because it's not specialty change. Eden, it's just basically worse Armin. Elena is niche, but she can actually be pretty good against certain cleaves. I bring out my Elena against certain cleave teams, and against Cerise in particular. I'll bring Elena out. So Elena really good against certain cleave teams that rely on Cerise. If you can give enough FRES to your Elena and enough speed to outspeed C-Doms, Cerise cleaves don't do much. Or even the Operator Sigrid cleaves, Operator Sigrid never has effectiveness, so they'll never be able to push back your Elena. Your Elena will take turn priority away from them and then set up S3 that they can't do much about. T-Seren is surprisingly not meta anymore. Surprisingly. Right? I was surprised about this one. But she's a very strong counter pick. She's very strong with Fallen Cecilia, and she's very good in certain teams. I don't know. This one I would have to check with some people, their thoughts. I don't think she's meta. She does not seem the same level of play that she used to see, to say the least. She's still a really good counter to Stene, right? I think she's strong, yeah. Keika, by the way, Keika isn't legend. I need to ask a lot of players. I'm going to save this tier list, and I'm going to send it to a bunch of legend players and see their thoughts on it and modify it for a video. She's really good. Don't get me wrong. She's amazing cleave counter. She's amazing AoE. She's amazing in a bunch of situations. But after having pulled her, and even when I use it with SCC, it just sometimes feels like she's lacking. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have a good one. That might be why. She's amazing in Arena and Guild Wars. She's still really good. I just don't feel like she's like a must-ban meta unit that everyone's using right now in High Champion. If you're low or in low RTA, oh yeah, she'd be right here. Low RTA should be right here. High Champion, it'd be here. Right? So High Champion, she's here. Overall, she'd be here. So, but because we're doing a High Champion tier list, she'll be here. I don't think she's meta in High Champion. Athletica, I mean, she's a cleave unit. I don't know where else to put her, so I'm gonna put her here for now. I need to make a cleave bracket because cleave units are always just good. They're in their own tier. They're not really meta because it's just weird to say that they're meta, because they're not really like quote unquote meta. They're not picked all the time, but the people that have them love them. So it's hard to put them. I would put them in their own tier, just cleave tier. But let me see some other stuff. That's true. T-Seren doesn't do great against tanky teams. But I don't know. It's weird. She definitely has fallen off a little bit. Not even great in cleave now. I mean, yeah. She has potential for some cleaves. I know people still use her. I know she's fallen off. Polides did a lot against cleave. Cleave still exists, but it's just so different now. Cleave is so weird. F-Flurry, meta. I mean, this unit has and always will be super powerful. The thing that I tell all my newbie players, if newbie players are watching this, or even people that are trying to get into Masters and RTA right now, if you're trying to get there and you don't have Ross and F-Flurry build them as soon as possible. They are probably your ticket to Master Arena. If you give them the gear, they're amazing. They pull their weight. Both of them together work perfectly. They're both knights. They have a variety of artifacts that work on them. They are amazing team core compositions. You can switch, you can counter cleave, control, bruisers, all by picking fucking Clary and Ross, right? If you haven't built properly. So super solid, right? Tiara's here. He's here. Oh my goodness. We're getting to this guy. General freaking Purgus. If you've been living under a rock, or you don't know, or you don't fight High Champion or watch High Champion RTA fights or something like that, General Purgus is the best unit in the game right now. Sageball is one of the golden boys, but he's not a first banner. He's not a first picker ban. He's part of the golden boys though. But General Purgus, dude, this unit, oh my god. I don't know who started this tech. I want to say it was someone from our Discord whose name is Heatsworn. That's his in-game name, but he's a legend player. And in the Discord, he's Dio. But I want to say it was him. But General freaking Purgus. Let me see if I can find it. A good General Purgus. It's just... This unit makes me want to stab someone. Right? So let me just give you an example build. This is a sample build for RTA. Some people even give him like a damage artifact, like Symbol of Unity, or they'll give him some crazy like damage artifact instead of proof. But this is the kind of like build that you're looking for in General Purgus in RTA. The only reason this guy people may not know about him is because he is he's a Wyvern slave right now. He's always in Wyvern. But if you actually make him for PvP, he's something else. He does so much damage on his S3. He sets up attack buff. And his passive, bro, his passive It legit makes it so, oh, you brought AoE? GG, bro. Thanks for giving me 18 every time you do AoE and giving my whole squad an extra turn. It is so disgusting. But I don't know if it was Penshui. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it was Penshui or my friend Dio. They both started playing it around the same time. And the thing about it is the legend players, because if you guys don't know, there's a legend level player Discord. They have a Discord and they like talk with each other and stuff. And he told me that like they recognize him and they always ban his G perk, and they started banning his G perk. But General Purgus is just that build is just absolutely filthy. If you use this in lower ranks, no one will pick him away from you. No one will ban him. But if you can get a PvP Purgus, you are going to be getting so many wins because people are not going to know what it does. Right? People are not going to know what General Purgus does. They're going to bring AoE to it. They're not going to respect it. They're going to be like, why did this G perk just do 7k to my whole team on an S3? And then your S10 or your Landy or whatever unit goes after him with another S3 attack buffed is going to finish the team, and they're just going to sit there and be like, why couldn't I take a turn? If you manage to get General Purgus, Ross, and F Flurry, it's actually a really nasty combo that just cycles super hard and does a ton of work. If you manage to get General Purgus, a Tywin, and Last Rider Craw, you automatically win the match. It's like Exodia and Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh! If you get General Purgus, a Tywin, and Last Rider Craw in a team together, you got the 5 pieces of Exodia essentially. You pretty much win the fight. If you lose, it's just you got outgeared, bro. It's actually Exodia. You literally just, oh, you got these 3 units, GG, bro, just quit. You might as well just quit at that point. You have to like get some crazy RNG or have some crazy good team to counter them. Yeah, single target cleave would be pretty good, but the thing about it is then if you single target cleave, then this guy shows up and then they slap on some other random unit that can take a turn away from them, right? So Golden Boys, super broken, all started by General Purgus and Last Rider Crawl. Holy moly, I hate these units, dude. I actually want them to disappear. LQC and this also super strong. LQC is also super strong with them. Penshui himself did say he wasn't the first. Wow, that's crazy that he didn't say this first. So I don't know if it was Penshui or not. If it's Penshui, he's a really good Seamer. He's a really good RTA player too. I'm like an okay RTA player, right? I don't think I spend enough and I don't play enough. That's the big one. I don't play enough to be considered a really good RTA player. Like I have like 900 games and the guys in Legend have like 2,000 games. I'm not even close to the number of games that they're doing right now. So they're pretty strong. My win rate's high, so like it's disgusting, right? Penshui, super good player though. Super powerful player. Mad respect. If it was him, I don't know if it was him. He probably knows better than me. But it's just disgusting. That's all I wanted to. This whole discussion, if you got anything from it, if you don't need General Purgus for your Wyvern team, build up PvP General Purgus. If you have 2 General Purguses, build 2 General Purguses because the PvP one is insane right now. Blood Moon Haze has fallen very hard as a counter pick, and even then, he doesn't even do his job that well as a counter pick. Briarwitch, Asteria, Basar, Efteni, all these units just destroy Emo Haste. And does he really counter RB? It just gets to a point that's like, does he really counter RB? So, still kind of a counter pick, just not as good as he used to be. Yeah, like Suck, I just don't have that number of games, dude. We just have a really good Discord that talks a lot about, and there's a lot of Legend players in our Discord that are always talking about RTA, so I get to learn a lot from them. And we have discussions, and we have like play fights every once in a while, and like it's fun. So that's how I get a lot of my knowledge and like a lot of the stuff I know. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. General Purgus broken. If you I just keep talking about him forever. But yeah, Emil Hayes not crazy anymore. Hayes is just a meme. These can all go in here. Holiday Youthfiend is a counter pick. Not even that great against Basar, because even against Basar, you have to have a fast Holiday Youthfiend, which I think would be really strong against Basar, but you have to have her really fast. Again, the other problem that Holiday Youthfiend faces is that if you're using her to counter Basar, you have to make sure that A, they don't have a General Purgus, and B, they don't have a Last Rider Crawl. So that's 2 units that just stomp on her, that full counter her, which makes it so it's like, are you really countering Basar if you're getting hard countered as well on the other side, right? So kind of rough for her right now because of General Purgus and Last Order Crawl. These can go here. Violet is niche. If they have all water, he's gonna solo carry, right? Bologna is meh. They're all here. Judge Kise, honestly, I don't even think I've ever seen a Judge Kise anymore. If you ask me, she's the unit. She needs a buff. Judge Kise needs a buff more than Emil Ken and Maid Chloe. That's right. You can quote me on this. Judge Kise needs a buff more than Emil Ken and Maid Chloe need a buff. That's my hot take for the night. That's my hot take for the night. She's still good. She's still good in Arena. But the thing about it is Polides is literally everywhere. Think about it. Polides is literally everywhere. How are you going to push up your Judge Kise in a cleave, realistically, in Arena? In RTA, how are you pushing up your Judge Kise? Right? How are you pushing up Judge Kise? She does her job. If they don't have a counter to Judge Kise, yeah, she's amazing. She's broken. I know we can disagree. We can have debates over this. That's my hot take for the night. That's my hot take for the night. That's my hot take for the night. Emil Ken, I think, has his role as well. Like, they all... Okay, I have to say this. All ML heroes... there's no ML hero that's underpowered. Like, when compared to things like all these units and, like, all these other weak 5-stars, MLs are way better than a regular... Like, a lot of RGB 5-stars, right? They all can perform well if you get in the right gear in the right team composition, right? I know, but it's like in Guild, like I could see Judge Kise is still really good in Guild Wars, right? She's really strong in Guild Wars actually. But in Arena, there's so much Polides, dude. It's like, I don't even know how you would cleave in Arena anymore with Judge Kise. I'm really curious. But again, that's my hot take for the night. That we can disagree, we can discuss it. She's still fine, right? I still use her on my brother's account. She's really fun to use. I want one just for fun. She's super fun. It is so satisfying. If they don't have a Polides, Judge Kise is so satisfying to use. But, alright, let's keep going. She's in meh. Cowrick can actually pop off in certain situations. If you have him really fast, he can actually counter Falconeer Clary. But you would have to have a really fast Cowrick to counter Falconeer Clary. Because Falconeer Claries are getting super fast. And it makes it really hard for him to do his job properly. Ken is still in the niche tier. I mean, he dropped down a lot. He wasn't good in the last tier list I did. But he's very niche right now. He's here. She's here. She's here. She's really good counter pick. Kitty Clarissa against control teams with the Spectre Tenebria is really scary. Because control teams don't typically have insane amount of damage after their initial burst. So if you survive the initial burst and are able to cleanse all the buffs and then come back with a dual attack with like a Spectre Tenebria or a Landy, that's super crippling for the opponent. Very, very good. Or strip the Landy as well. It's pretty good. Spez wasn't forgotten. People still use Spez. Elven Mage still uses Spez. If you guys don't know who Elven Mage is, he's a Twitch streamer and a top legend RTA player. Right? So, very, very strong. But, Kitty Clarissa, very, very good. Kisuna, if Than's still here, he's probably gonna be like, bruh. So Than actually uses her higher up. Out of respect for the YouTuber, I will actually put her in leash. There's a YouTuber that uses her in champion and has success with her. So the fact that she can use it, I mean, you know, it's respectable. So I gotta give her credit. Craw, oh, definitely meta. Craw is still one of the best knights. The S3 capabilities it's just probably one of the best counters to Last Rider Craw. Because if they Last Rider Craw S3 you, it puts you right at horse range and they can lose a unit. The defense buff is still invaluable. The provoke can really mess up some teams, and it's just very powerful overall. Oh, really? All right, so Than gave me the okay to put Kisuna Ai in the meta tier. But all right, and then Craw's still insane. So very, very powerful unit, very, very powerful knight. If you don't have all the RGB knights, still really good, and a good counter to the RGB knights. Packet Clear we already have him. Can't maybe use him, so I'm gonna put him there. I know there's a guy that uses him. She had so much potential, and now it's just like, she can't touch Landy. Guiding Light really hurt Lidica. You can strip though, which is nice actually. I think she has the potential to be niche actually. I don't know. I feel like Lidica, I don't know if it's just me, But I feel like Lidica has potential because she strips quite a few buffs, and she can lock down a unit for life with S3. So I think she has potential to be a counter pick, actually. I don't know, I just don't see her. But it's just she's niche. She's niche. There's better speed contestants, there's better units to pick, but I think she has potential. Lilia's is still definitely a meta unit. This unit is so strange to me. Like, Lilia's is a unit that has periods of use and then periods where she drops off. So there's times where she becomes super powerful, and there's times she just kind of dips in usage, right? So it's very like wave motion. Right now she's on her peak. She has the F-Res build that's super powerful on her. She has a full tank build, and she has the Bruiser Cleave build for tank cleaves. So very, very powerful unit. Such a good S3 still. Very, very annoying to deal with. She's here. Rowana, mostly a counter pick, but there's a lot of units she can counter. Really good against Cerise. Really good against Lilius. Really good against Seaside. Although Seaside not seeing as much play as she used to. Still really good, but not as much play. Celarina is here. Ludwig is here. Luluka. Luna. Maya. I could see Maya working, but it's kind of hard. Melissa is literally just there for Rylet. She's very niche, but like, it's not even a counter pick. It's just like, if you really just hate Rylet, that's the only time you'd ever use her. There's like the cheese combo with her. Mersa, pretty strong, pretty good unit. She can do really well against control. She has very high single target damage. She can fit very well in a Bruiser team and can take out certain units. It's just very RNG. It's a coin toss. If she pops off, she pops off. If she doesn't, you're gonna lose the fight. So pretty easy on that one. SBA, you need to have the right team. All right, Fallen Cecilia. She is still extremely powerful as a first pick or ban. Not ban. She will never see a ban higher up. Very rarely, unless the opponent is cleaving you or trying to use F10 against you, they will not ban Fallen Cecilia. But if they don't ban her, she's usually the next priority pick, aside from these three. So she's still pretty high up there. She's very high up there in the priority list because she just makes teams so tanky, right? She has the capabilities of making a team extremely tanky. She has the versatility. It's a very safe first pick to go into a variety of teams. Same thing with Gperg. Very, very good. Very, very good, right? So she's still extremely meta unit. Very few people ban her unless it's for F10A or for... What's the other unit that hates her? Oh, F10A or Cleaves. Yeah. But she will be first pick. If you don't pick her, they probably will. Right? So if you don't first pick Fallen Cecilia, they will. So she's a very powerful unit. She always has been. I have her now, and my thoughts on her have not changed. I still think she's broken. Even to this day, I'm still, every time I have FCC, I'm just like, dude, this unit, like most of the time when I lose with FCC, it's usually because I'm bad with her, not because she's not strong. I still think she's insane. She just makes tanks seem so tanky. She does have a lot of counters with Bazaar, Briarwitch, Iseria. But the thing about it is the fact that they have to pick those units to counter you sets you up for picking a bunch of stuff. And the thing about it is you first pick Fallen Cecilia and they pick General Purgus and a Tywin, you can then take away the Briarwitch or the Bazaar away from them. Right? So it just puts them in a very bad situation. You put them in a situation that they have to be able to deal with her. Momo has fallen to she's still a counter pick, but not as, like, there's just so many better counters to control at this point in the game. Still a cool unit, still very annoying, but there's just so many better counters to her. I almost want to put her in like niche, honestly, or just good. She can be good. She can be good. I'll put her in good. I don't think she's a good counter pick against control, but she can be really good. Mui is niche. If you can pull off Mui, she's actually very cool. She has some really cool stuff, but she's very niche. Really cool stunts for control teams. This is niche as well. She's pretty interesting because she can self-push herself, which actually is pretty nice. Pavel, ooh, this unit is like, dude. Okay. Background on Pavel, right? Some background on Pavel. Why am I putting him at strong? Before you flame me. I have seen some stuff that has scarred me in Champion. Every time I fought against Pavel,
I have lost in Champion. Because the Pavel's there, and the Cleaves that use Pavel in like this area, their Pavels easily outspeed my 285 speed Cerises. Easily. Pavel easily outspeeds my 285 speed Cerise. Like, not even a contest. No speed RNG. No speed imprints on his side. And then he's able to do good AoE damage and one-shot one of my units. Usually my Cerise. And set up attack buff for another unit. Which is just crazy. I don't know why. He's just so crazy. I don't know why. This could be just because I maybe have won against the super powerful Pavel players and they just clap me. But it just, the cleaves that he can facilitate are actually ridiculous. In lower brackets though, he would not do as well. So don't expect to take this to like a master or a lower tier, or like an even challenger, right? With our godlike tier, and don't expect them to have a really good Pavel. So I usually would not be too worried if you see a Pavel cleave, because they probably don't have the godlike gear necessary for him. But if you do, he actually has potential, so much potential. Perkins is, she's here. Blaze Dingo's niche. I have seen some really good Blaze Dingos. Ravi is in a weird spot right now. She's not, I want to put her in meta, but at the same time, she's not the meta. She counters the meta really well. And she's really good into a lot of teams, but Cerise does a lot of work on her. I almost want to put her here. She's weird. She can solo teams though. I'm gonna put her in meta. She definitely sees a lot of play. She definitely can stomp teams. You just have to watch out for her counters, right? So I'm gonna put her here. I'll see some other suggestions. With Shu coming out though, she'll drop to here. So when Shu comes out, she'll drop to strong. Ray, really good counter pick. My thing with Ray is after DJ Bassar gets his buff, I don't think people are gonna be using Ray anymore. Unless they don't have DJ Bassar. Because the thing about it is DJ Bassar gives a lot more utility than Ray and has more built-in survivability, allowing you to build more FRES. And also has higher starting FRES. I think that could happen, SK. I don't think they'll give it an EE. Actually, they could give it an EE. I could see Alpha getting an EE. I could see Dizzy getting an EE. I could see Bakin's already has her niche though. Bakin's already chilling in her own niche. They could do it to make her better. But yeah, Robbie's really good. But I think Robbie's super powerful right now. She'll drop down with Shu coming into the meta. But yeah, it's as far as which unit were we on? I already lost it. Shoot. Oh, Ray. I don't think with the DJ Bassar buff, the people that have DJ Bassar will probably drop the Ray. Unless, because like the thing about Ray is like, he's a good soul weaver for tanky teams, but DJ Bassar just feels like he may do his job better. So we'll have to see, but I think DJ Bassar is going to take the role of Ray for the most part. You get less healing, but you get more consistent healing. Like you get less burst heals, but you get more consistent heals. You get a 30% CR push and you get 3-turn immunity. So I think Ray will probably fall off once DJ Bassar, but he'll still be a good counter pick. Rylet, I don't see Rylet as much, but when I see him, he usually solos my team. So I still think he's meta because the amount of single target and the fact that he can legit just solo a game. But the thing about it is like Last Rider Crawl really does, it's just so RNG, dude. I don't know where I put Rylet. See, there's units right now that are like, I know they're really powerful, but I don't know if they're the meta at this point. Because it's just, there's so many other priority units. And it's becoming very streamlined processed. But yes, Ink, I actually could see it. Because of the passive. I'm gonna put Ryler here. He's still super toxic. The fact that you can just solo your team is just, it's enough to put him up here. He can literally just solo. It's the same thing as Robbie. He kind of follows the same tier as Robbie, where he can get counterpicked, but it's just so much single target damage. All these units can go here. I've actually seen one mess me up, so I'm actually gonna put her there. Broman, there's so many better strippers than Broman. Rose, oh my goodness. I want this unit, but I don't have the gear for her. So Rose, if you look at Rose, Torrent, Ron, and Selena, it makes me want to pull Violet. Dude, the Violet skin makes me really want to pull for Violet. I haven't gotten to Urvalin. Urvalin is not a PvP unit for RTA. So this is a RTA tier list. By the way, if you're just joining, it's an RTA tier list, not PvE. If you see units down here, it does not mean that they're bad units, they're just not good for RTA. Urvalin is a unit that is really good for PvE because he can one-shot a lot of bosses and do a lot of single target damage for a grass unit. He can also work in Guild Wars in the right team setup, but he is not an RTA unit. He is not a good RTA unit, but he's a good PvE unit. I'll give him that. I need to do a PvE tier list, but it's hard to do because there's different content that you have to take into consideration. But yeah, Bicep being good does hurt Violet. That's true. It's just hard to put her in a spot. There's certain units that it's just very up for debate. Shield buff will definitely make Ravi go down. Yes. Shield buff makes her direct counter to Ravi. Yes, 100%. Rebel Light, she's coming back. If you guys didn't know, she is coming back. She's not quite meta yet, but she is coming back. She used to be meta, but now she's very strong. She just needs the right team composition and she can be toxic. And the right units to pair up with. She, in certain situations, is meta. If you get to Legend, she's meta. But below Legend, she's not meta. She's strong. So because it's high champion, and we have to take into consideration high champion, not just Legend, I will put her at strong. If we were just looking at Legend, she would probably be meta. So, wait, have people been picking go in high level RTA? This is a high level RTA by the way. And yes, people pick Robbie in Legend and high level RTA. This is a high level RTA, like high champion in Legend. Rel is very meta in Legend because people have RC with Mercedes and have all these toxic tank teams. But in higher champion, people don't have all the perfect units geared. Yes, GP is broken. I talked about him, but if you have a PvP G perk, he's insane. He's insane. Ray, read your comment. Can you where's my boy Acid? I have not gotten to him yet, but he's a counter pick unit. He's so good at counter picking. The thing that hurts Acid is guiding light. He's good at counter picking cleave and counter picking fast aggressive units and one-shotting Basars if they're not on immunity as well. And if you get Alexis Basket, Soulburn, oh, that Basar's gone, right? So, and Ceresis. So he actually is pretty good. We're about to get to him. Shuri, he's there for the speed imprint. Maid Chloe. I don't think she's niche. All right. The problem with Maid Chloe, Basar, Brio Chesaria, big counters. Emil Hayes, big counter. Takes a slot of other really good units. But if you have last pick and none of those units on the board, she becomes a really good unit. So Maid Chloe, very niche. But if you get that niche and you get to pick her in that situation, she can just destroy the enemy team, right? Because she has pretty decent sustain. She can stun and get some luck sack wins, and she can provide that very critical revive because it can literally win you fights and attack buff for 3 turns. So in the right situation against the right team, she is really good. But all right, let's keep going. Kise has fallen off, but I could see her coming back up. I still think she's a good unit. She does so much damage against buffed units that it's ridiculous, right? So I still think she's a really good DPS unit and can still do a lot of work. It just requires insane gears as well. She needs very good gear to work. Kayron. He's starting to see a resurgence, but not as strong. So he's mostly counterpick for when they bring too much grass, go cleave, or whenever you need an AoE damage dealer against landing. So pretty good to counterpick them. So he was starting to fall off pretty hard because of Cerise F10, but now that F10 and Cerise team compositions, you only see one or the other. Karen is starting to see a little bit more play. So I'm pretty happy with it. He's still a really good AoE DPS actually. So he's starting to go up a lot more. He could actually get to the point of being a very strong unit just on his own again. As we develop more units and get farther and farther into the meta. Because the amount of damage he can do is ridiculous. Sith does the speed imprint, can be pretty good. I actually will put him in niche. All of these can go here. Oxlots, I mean, he's cleave. I don't know where else to put him except strong. I'll make a tier for cleave. Assassin Sid, this unit got very hurt by Guiding Light because it becomes a guessing game of do they have Guiding Light. He's still really good against top units like top model Luluka. He's still really good against units like Vivian. He's still really good against all those like squishier opener units. He has a pretty decent matchup against Bazaar, because if they don't bring a speed Bazaar, it's usually not an immunity. But if it is an immunity, it's usually pretty squishy, right? So if it's speed Bazaar on immunity, it's probably squishy. If you proc a basket, he's gonna one-shot that Bazaar, and you can just win the game off of that, right? So very good counter pick into those faster, aggressive units. Is DJ Bazaar that DJ Bazaar base choice based on buffs? DJ Bazaar will be based on buffs. Did I already place him? Oh yeah, this is placed on buffs. This is post buff DJ Bazaar. Current DJ Bazaar is here. Post buff, I think he'll be here. This is speculation. I think is really strong. I think the buff is really strong for RTA. Chaos is here. Seaside. This one's a weird one. She's just a unit that just, if you let her kill you, you lose. But there is so much anti-AoE in the meta right now that she's actually kind of falling off. Again, this is RTA, high RTA. Low RTA, she would be like here. Like anywhere, like even in like low champion, she's here. But the higher you go up, General Purgus, Last Rider Craw, all these Rowana, all these units can really put a damper. I think I'll still put her in meta, and I'll see what other people think, but part of me wants to put her here. She's still solos teams though. If you don't have any counters to her, you lose the game. Like it's that simple. If you don't have counters to Seaside Bologna, and they have a Seaside Bologna, you lost the game, because you're not gonna be able to do anything. I think a mix. I don't think he needs to be super fast, but I don't think he needs to be super squishy. But yeah, I'm the same, Wesley. He's super good. Let me show you guys since y'all are asking, this is the PvP General Purgus. Since y'all are curious, if you're just joining us, this is the PvP General Purgus that is destroying high champion, high level RTA. If you've watched any tournaments, this guy is a first pick or ban unit. It's the unit that everyone is first picking or banning. If you're not getting this guy, he's getting banned, right? And this is a sample build. You guys can see, very fast, very strong, high damage, tanky, everything, does everything, right? Dios Showcase, yes, honestly. Is this Dios? Yes, this is Dios. Sorry, it took me a while. So this guy's the guy that has an insane General Purgus. It's not even maxed out Proof of Valor either, but it does so much damage. It's so good, dude. It's so busted. By the way, a lot of the builds I've been showing are in the top unit guilds. Top unit builds. But okay, yeah, General Purgus, great. Really good unit. That's the build you would go for if you were using him in PvP. PvE is a whole different story. Before we continue, make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord server to chat and stuff like that. It really does help the channel a lot and lets me do stuff like this and more fun stuff and more guides that can help you guys climb or get better at PvE. We're doing a lot of PvE recently. We're trying to do all the expeditions, and then we'll do some PvP as well. So trying to do a variety, see what you guys like. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, hit that subscribe button. It helps a lot. All right, let's get back into it. Again, if you're just joining us, it's an RTA high champion / legend tier list. A lot of stuff would change if I was including an overall tier list. In high champion legend RTA, Seaside Bologna is a feast or famine unit. If you have her last pick, there's always a threat. You always have to build your draft assuming the opponent will pick a Seaside Bologna. It is a very annoying thing to do. So just because of that, I'm gonna put it in meta, because the presence of Seaside Bologna means you have to have counters to her, or she doesn't do, or you lose the game. Thankfully, a lot of the meta units do counter her, so you can build a very strong draft and counter Seaside, which is why in Legend she'd be here. But overall, she's here because typically it's just very, very oppressive. The thing about it is if you pick counters to her, they can end up not picking her, and then you just overcommitted to countering Seaside. So it just creates a really, really weird dynamic. Really weird dynamic. We haven't gotten to Shu yet, Olivia, but we'll talk about her. But it's just tough. It's just tough. It's hard. Sigrid is, man, she's here. She's here. She's here. I'm not talking about these because it's like, unless you want to hear more about them, let me know. Specimen says, oh my goodness. All right, let me show you guys my Specimen says. I think he is quite strong. I think a lot of people are still sleeping on Specimen Cess. Secret would go in the cleave tier. If we get to cleave tier, we'll eventually make a cleave tier, right? So another FYI, I'll probably remake this more cohesive thoughts. This is just my initial thoughts, just my random thoughts. I will get more input from other legend players, from other high champion players, from other people, from all around, and make a more cohesive RTA tier list for next week, so you guys are ready for the last week of RTA. Right, so I'll probably drop that video maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. But I will try to get more input because I don't want to give you guys something with just my thoughts. I want everyone's thoughts. So I'll definitely be putting more thoughts into this. I'm going to use this as a template though. And yeah, so that's just a heads up. What I'll be using. So this is just initial thoughts. It'll probably be a video and I'll have more cohesive thoughts on them. Tempest Stirring is legit just there for the speed imprint. Sven can actually work, but it's just hard. She is... You'd have to get Briar, which you have to get Isaiah with her. Tenebria has fallen off so hard, dude. So hard. Tenebria used to be a really good unit. She's niche now. There's almost no place where I would see my... Oh yeah, wait. I'm sorry. Thanks for reminding me, Busalair. Spes. I finished my Spes. My Spes is officially finished for the most part. So let me get to him. Let me just quit the... Wow, we're getting so many blues. At least we got a good Reforge drop. Alright. There we go. Let me sell this and let me show you guys my Specimen Cess build. I actually do use my Specimen Cess. I'm pulling for Ida next week. So if you guys don't know, the new unit next week that's coming out is a control unit. I'm pulling for Ida and I am going to be building her eventually because I really like Specimen Cess. It's so fun to play with Specimen Cess, dude. But let me show you guys my Specimen Cess. I'm still tuning a little bit of stuff, but I'm really happy with how he turned out. Especially because I play him with a Tywin. I want the Ida for when I don't get a Tywin. So if I don't get access to a Tywin, that's why I want the Ida. That's coming out next week. But this is my pride and joy. I still need to skill enhance it. I already know what you guys are going to say. 50-50 crit rate. Yes, I know. I'm trying to see if I can reforge it somewhere, but I don't think I'll be able to. They'll just live with 98% crit rate. But this is my Spes. So yes, I am a toxic. Thanks for telling the chat. I am a toxic A Tywin abuser. But there are games that he does get pre-banned, which is why I want to still be able to play with Ida. So this is my Specimen Cess build. Very tanky. You may be wondering, why is the attack so low? Why is the crit damage so low? This still kills most units. I really like him. Usually in the games that I get to pick him, I usually win. So that's what's really nice. Oh, that's tough, Kid Jensen. Losing T Saren like that. But yeah, I'm also gonna reforge out. There's actually, I think this is full build, right? This is full build. There are some crazy gears on here. Like this chest, this was made possible by the reforge change. This used to be effectiveness. This was made possible by the new substat change. If you want to see the substat change, what it can do to your gear, this is an example of what substat change can do to your gear. So very, very good. Counter Spes, the only reason I don't have it is because I have Counter Spes. I have a very specific combo that I use with it. So that's why you don't see Counter Spes. But there's a lot of really high tier like gear on this guy. That will be really hard to replace, right? Really, really hard to replace some of these pieces. Like this, I could probably switch. I could probably find a better piece for this ring in the future, one day, but not any day soon. But very hard to improve pieces. Emo Sigrid build, I'm still working on it. She'll be done eventually. I need to build her, dude. She's insane. I do have a Sigrid. But okay, let's go back to a tier list because that's what you guys came here for. But I'm thinking of going something like this. All we need to do is actually get her 100% crit rate. Get her a little bit. I want her to be faster, like 240, 250, 240 speed. I want to reach 240 speed. I want to reach 100% crit rate, and I think I'll be happy. So still a work in progress. Still have room to improve. A lot of these pieces are not that good. This piece is really good. This piece can improve a lot, like with more speed, or I can change the defense for something else, like maybe crit rate. I can probably change this for crit rate once I get a crit rate one. Let me see if I can actually do that right now. Let's just do this for now. So let's do this, and then I'll eventually change it for a red one, but pretty nice actually. This, I mean, it's not great. This is terrible. Like, this piece is actually trash. So hopefully find a better chest, hopefully find better boots, and then I think she's on her way to being a really good one, right? So better ring too. Like, this ring is not that good, and then better neck, right? So there's a lot of room for improvement, but that's kind of the build I'm going for. Okay, back to the tier list. Do I pair Spes? No, I pair him with last ride. I pair my Spes with Cerise, A Tywin, Alencia, Basar, FCC. I usually put two, if it's RTA, I'll put 2 strippers, A Tywin, and Spes. And then the 5th one, depending who am I going against, what I need to counter. So let's keep going. We're still not done. We still have a lot of units. But let's keep moving. Troublemaker Crosshead post buff. I think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be like strong or meta, but he'll be really annoying. There's a lot of immunity in the meta, but with him and a Rylet, it could get really toxic. The thing about it is usually when there's a T Crosshead, you just focus T Crosshead down, which does mean your backline unit gets a lot of time to set up, which can be really, really bad. Like, if you have a Landy with T Crosshead, oh my goodness, I can just imagine the Landy combo. Actually, I think he'll be strong. Post buff, I think he'll be strong. The Camarines push, the cleansing, he can actually be pretty strong. My take will be that he'll be strong after the buffs. He has potential. I mean, he's as strong as the unit you pair him up with. Tywin, there's this one guy in High Champion in the Discord, Giru, who uses Tywin all the time, and it's actually pretty annoying. Like, it's actually a pretty annoying unit. So I actually put him at niche. I actually put a little respect on the Tywin. His Tywin, I don't know, his team just works for him. It's a really unique team. He has like Lilias, BBK, T Surin, Tywin, and like Vivian. And you would think that team would suck, but he's like 3,000 points in RTA. And it's just like, what? How? 48% win rate. Like, not the best win rate, but not the worst either. And it's just like, that is a weird team. So I gotta put some respect on him. I could see Guider Eye working. Low key, I could see him working, but I'm gonna put him in mid. Alfel, oh man, she needs a big buff. She needs a huge buff. Vildred's good in the right team, and he has a really good speed imprint. I actually like him. Arbitral Vildred. Now we're getting to a lot of the meta units. Let's move this guy up. Arbitral Vildred. Is anyone surprised about this one? Is anyone surprised that Arbitral Vildred would be here? Do I need to go over Arbitral Vildred? Bro, it's just nasty, bro. It's just nasty. The T-Crossing combo. Sorry, I just read your comment, TC. But Arbitral Vildred, bro. This unit, it should come to no one's surprise. It's a must pick or ban. It's what did you expect? Like, do I need even to go over this unit? He has counters that are not really counters. He has 2 builds that are both extremely powerful. People are building 2 Arby's. What's his best counter? Like if you want me to be completely honest with you, his best counter is to pick a full tank team. That's it. That's the best thing you can do against an Arbitral Vildred. Pick a Last Rider Crawl, Fawn Cecilia, T Surin, A Tywin, General Purgus. That's your best counter. But as far as single unit that counters him, Emil Haste. Outside of RTA, Emil Haste does really well against him. So outside of RTA, Emil Haste is a really good Arbitral Vildred counter. Probably the best Arbitral Vildred counter is Emil Haste, which is a 5-star unit. Think about it. To counter one of the best 5-star Emil heroes, you need an Emil 5-star hero in Arena or RTA. And then Tamana Luca is also like an ML. There's not a lot. Is there any Arbitral Vildred? Like, okay, I know there's Sigrid, I know there's Lilibet, and I know there's Glenn. But is there any non-ML 5-star hero that can counter Arbitral Vildred properly in the way that Extinction or Emil Haste does? Besides, like, RTA viable. That's my thing. RTA viable Arbitral Vildred counter unit besides that's not ML 5-star. There's not, right? Karon, yes and no though, because the thing about it, it's like if you don't kill him, if you get stripped, he wins. I guess Crawl he can outdamage you. That's the thing with Crawl. I'm just trying to think. Like, I know you can just tank up and counter him, right? That's pretty standard. You usually just tank up and you counter him. That's the best way to counter Arbiter Builder is just pick a full tank team, which is stupid because you should not have to pick a full team to counter one unit. But just like hard counters in the way that Extinction or Emo Haste does, like just shuts him out. I think Charon would actually be one of the best ones. But I'm also saying that's the thing. That reliably as well. I'm saying reliable. Like you would be okay picking this in RTA consistently against him. I think Charon might actually be one of the best ones. Ammo Cannon is actually pretty good. That's true. Ammo Cannon is actually pretty good as well. I know Standard's good. I mean, there's units that have good matchups against Arbiter Builder. Arbiter Builder is not like a... I know this is a completely outside... I just want to see y'all's perspective on Arbiter Builder. T-Cern is a really good unit against him. But it's not a hard counter if it's on the counter build. Here's the problem. Oh, but non-ML 5-star. That's the other one. Sinful Angelica. Oh, Sinful Angelica. There it is. I found one for myself as well. Sinful Angelica. She's a 4-star ML, not a 5-star ML. So there's a good number. But that's the thing, though. So all these counters that y'all are naming, Charon, Sinful Angelica, all these counters that y'all are talking about, Stane. Imagine picking these units against Arbiter Vildred, and then you try to kill him, and it's a counter set Moonlight Dreamblade tank Arbiter Vildred. A degenerate Arbiter Vildred, as they call it. What? Like, you realize that, right? Like, all these units you guys mentioned, BBK, Sinful Angelica. Sinful Angelica, not so much. Emil Hayes, not as much. But all the other ones, Melissa, Soul Burning this unit, Charon. Imagine you pick these units, but you have no idea if the opponent's Arbiter Vildred is counter Moonlight Dreamblade, and then your Charon goes for an S3, misses. GG, you just lost. That's crazy. Yeah, I know Sager can. I was just wondering for RTA, like viable Arbiter Vildred counters in RTA that are non-ML. Viable. That's a key word, viable, that doesn't require an insane amount of setup to counter one unit. Because if you're picking 2 units to counter 1, you lost the game. That's usually what it rolls down to. I think BBK actually can do okay. Can counter RB, but it's just interesting to me. It's still one of the best units. That's all I wanted to say. In Legend though, higher up, in Legend people go with counter Arbiter Vildred. If you're okay, quick aside, we'll go back to the other units. If you're someone that's trying to get into Masters or higher, right? Let's say you're starting your climb to Masters. If you're a player that doesn't have insane gear, right, and you're trying your best to climb, and you don't have a big unit pool, you have to either ban or pick Arbiter Vildred if you're trying to climb to Masters. Because in lower brackets, Arbiter Vildred will literally just stomp. Because you need counters. Or he just wins. That's the thing. So if you're a player that's trying to get into Masters and you don't have counters for him built, you either have to pick him or ban him. Because if not, your opponent will. Like that to climb to Masters. So very, very, very polarizing units lower down. Higher up, it's not the damage one. It's usually the counter one. But do you guys know that in Legend, people have 2 Arbiter Vildred build? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Shockingly, in Legend, people have pulled dupe Arby's and build both with both different ones. Yeah, like YD has 2 Arby's. I think Suck has 2 Arby's. I'm not sure though. I have to check on Suck. But there's a lot of people that have 2 Arby's. So Arbiter Vildred, very, very degenerate. Higher up, Arbiter Vildred is the best unit in Epic 7. We don't even have to, like, I don't think this is something that's debated. I think this is just something that's taken as a fact. Arbiter Vildred is the best unit in Epic 7. PvP, PvE, RTA, everywhere. He's the best unit. So, in RTA, General Purgus would actually be better than him right now. More of a priority pick is General Purgus than Arby, but we're not ordering them. But there's some nasty stuff. Spectre Tenebria is very meta still. She essentially is a unit that if you can't deal with Spectre Tenebria, you lose the game. She pairs up so well with General Purgus. She pairs up with FCC. She pairs up with Ross. She pairs up with F Flurry. She pairs up with so many units. Last Rider Crawl we haven't gone into. She pairs up so well with so many units and forces your opponent to bring AoE. And if they're forced to bring AoE against a General Purgus or a Last Rider Craw, they lost. So, very, very good unit. Vivian, I actually think she's actually meta now. This one is something that other players will disagree with me. People will probably put her at strong, but I'm going to put her at meta because she is really good at countering control, and she's the go-to control counter. She has such good damage, and the attack buff, again, it's invaluable, right? And they usually go with the cleanse CE. Very, very good unit. So, so good. Can cleanse, can set up attack buff, set up immunity for 3 turns, does damage. Very, very strong. I think I'll actually put her at strong. I'll put her at strong because she's still more of a counter pick, but really, really good. Hey, good luck on your ML summon, bro. But yeah, I don't have Arbiter loaded. I wish I did. Life would be a lot funner. But wouldn't it be fun if you had all the units? That's what makes Epic 7 unique, that not everyone has all the units unless you like whale a ton. And that makes cool team comps come up. We're gonna take the Wanda. She's niche, she can't counter certain units. He's still trash, sadly. Yufiend, I have seen some cool Yufiends. I have seen some really cool Yunas. Sino is still trash. Serato is not great. Chu post buff? Oh yeah, this unit's gonna go right here. The second this unit becomes a gets buffed, she's gonna be a meta unit. I believe it. I'm a believer in the Chu. Why? Chu is tanky, has sustain, does good single target damage, sets up anti-crit. She's a good bruiser, right? She's a good bruiser. She might fall here with Alencia, where like you see her only when there's certain units, but will definitely be in one of these two. She's definitely a good bruiser, right? Very reliable damage on the S2, on low cooldown as well. Sustained. She just has a lot. She has a lot going for her. I'm gonna be reserved in my estimate, and I'm gonna put her here in strong. Although I think she could actually go up here to meta, and I think with Shu, Ravi and Shu might fall here after Shu gets buffed, just because they'll counter each other. So it'll be a really weird dynamic that if you pick Ravi, Shu will get picked. So it actually might be this, or it might be this, or it might be this, and it just becomes like whoever picks the one picks the other. So it's interesting. She looks really good. Post buff, she looks really good. Crescent Moon Rin. This unit is actually really, really good. I don't want to put her at meta quite yet because not everyone picks her, but all aggro players will play Crescent Moon Rin. She's one of the best disruptors that can also set up immunity. That's what's so good about her. And if you just proc RNL, it's just like she feels like she has a 100% RNL chance. The problem with her is she has a 15% chance to lose you the game. So very Falconeer Clorish-esque, where if she misses, you lose. But for aggro teams, she is very powerful. But Chu used to not be great, but she's very good now. Chu will be very good in the future, for sure. She'll be very strong. All right, Urvalin. Someone was asking about Urvalin. He's a PvE unit, so not PvP. Landy, you guys should know where this unit goes. She's completely, absolutely meta. Guiding Light has made Landy such a good unit to counter tank teams and such a good unit for tank teams. It has made Bazaar and Briarwitch Iseria be the monsters that they are now. Without Landy, Bazaar would still be strong but would not be picked all the time, right? But Landy kind of forced, like, it just makes Bazaar such a good pick into her, right? And Briarwitch. And why Guiding Light allows you to do crazy AoE damage, give speed buff. The speed buff is what tilts me, dude. The fact that Landy has a CR push and a speed buff on the S3, that's what really gets to me. That's what really makes me hate Landy. It's not even the damage. It's actually just the CR push. Alright, now Last Rider Crow. It should come to no surprise. Again, first pick or ban unit. In a bruiser fight, he just does so much. You have a recycling AoE barrier every time your opponent does AoE. It legit makes your opponent not use AoE. If you have Last Rider Crow, your opponent cannot use AoE anymore. That's rough. He does have counters with Bazaar and Briarwitch that can definitely stop his barriers, can stop a lot of his stuff. But even then, you still get a 5k to 7k horse that just sets up the rest of your team for destruction. So that's what is so good about her. I actually think it's really cool, but she's actually niche. I think she has potential though. She's really cool Soul Weaver. I kind of want to see more of her. I know KK uses her every once in a while. He's a legend player. So I'm really interested in her. Flan, I know someone in High Champion that's actually using Flan and having success with her. That really likes Flan because she can apply a lot of really nasty debuffs without touching the enemy. Flan is meh. He's budget RB counter. Top model Luluka. Surprisingly, not a meta unit, but it is very strong. She's still a really good unit for aggressive teams and for punishing slow teams. The problem with top model Luluka and why she's not meta is because there are so many speed threats in the meta right now that most likely you're not going to be in a situation where you're going to be able to get off Luluka's S2 unless you're committed to a turn 1 team. Because there's Bazaar, there's Briar Witch, there's Swift Flurry, there is the Assassins, there is Sage Ball. There's a lot of really good units in the meta that can just make top model Luluka's day really bad. But in a committed single target damage turn 1 team, she is invaluable, right? So in a single target cleave, she's invaluable. In an aggressive team, she's invaluable. If they decide to go all tank and no turn 1 contesting, she's insane there. Because if you don't have a way to contest your turn 1, she can really pop off. Her with Ross is also really strong. And hey, what's up, Mr. X Noodles? But yeah, she's really good in turn 1 team. So in a turn 1 team, top model Luluka is nuts. But in like overall setting, she's not meta, right? You don't see her all the time. So that part is kind of tough. But yeah, RGB booster meta incoming. I don't know about it. It's still gonna be light meta. Answer actually the rock paper. Yes, Andrew Choi. They are the rock paper scissors of Epic 7, or like the Pokemon, like Squirtle, Charizard, and Bulbasaur. So very interesting. Which ones do you think, Ink? Which ones do you think in the niche? The ones I could see would be maybe BBK. I could actually put her up. Blaze Dingo. I actually have seen some really good Blaze Dingos. Elena could be bumped up. Who else could be bumped up? The only Araminthia just needs so much setup. That's my only problem with Araminthia. Let me see some other units that could potentially be moved up. I think that's those, right? Let me know if you think I missed ones. Ink. Cowrick? Yeah. Cowrick, you're right. That's true. Shuri is a speed imprint. That's why he's there. He's more of a speed imprint. Yeah, Cowrick I can see. I can see Cowrick. I just don't know. I think that one I was still messing around a little bit. By the way, again, if you're just coming, this is for High Champion / Legend RTA. What's being used a lot. Can help you climb. Not gonna be exactly what you see in lower brackets, so don't take it with a grain of salt if you're lower ranks. You're not gonna see all the meta units all the time. You're gonna see other units be more superior, but this is still really good overall. Not final. I'll probably make a final RTA tier list once I talk with people like Inkross and other legend players such as him and K-Kai and Dio and other people to see their thoughts, so I can make a more cohesive tier list for you guys that can help you guys a lot more. I disagree with the Charles. I think Charles is definitely in there. But yeah, that's just a disclaimer. Also, if you're enjoying, make sure you like, subscribe. It really does help the channel a lot. Operator Sigrid. Oof. This one, I'm really conflicted because every time the opponent gets this unit, I lose the game. I want to say she's meta because she's insane for cleave. She's insane for aggro comps. She's insane for bruiser cleave. She's insane for so many teams. I want to say she's meta. But I don't think she's widespread enough. I don't know if this is because people didn't pull for her or because they just don't think she's as good. But dude, she is ridiculous. She's so good against Landy. Like her matchup against Landy, it's just like absolute destruction. Gives your team turn 1 priority. It's a unit that gives you turn 1 priority in a bruiser versus bruiser matchup. It's a unit that puts a lot of pressure on Landy, who is everywhere. It's a unit that can set up into a control with a Tywin with an attack buff. It's a unit that can set up in a turn 1 attack team that you can just go in and finish with the cleave. It's a cleave unit that can destroy a CC. There's a lot of potential. I think it's because people didn't pull for her that we don't see her as much. But yes, Charles has fallen off a lot overall. I think she's really good. I'm surprised how she built speed-wise. The thing about Operator Sigrid is there are 3 builds. Believe it or not, there are 3 Operator Sigrid builds. Build 1 is the cleave build, which is just the all damage build. Build 2 is the mid-range speed. The mid-range speed, what you're trying to do is you outspeed Bruiser teams, but you're not outspeeding Bazaars, right? So you're still outspeeding most Bruiser teams. That's around the 240 to 250 range. But at this range, you also have some bite. It's kind of like a hybrid build. And then there's the setup Operator Cigarettes that are floating around 280 speed that are there to outspeed Bazaars, outspeed a lot of other units, and set up into a nasty return cleave. This is post buff Chu. Yes. This is post buff Chu. I'm assuming it's post buffed. I'm assuming post buff. So, but yes. The only difference is very similar to Blue Rose with Operator Sigrid. But the thing about Operator Sigrid is she pushes the opponent back and strips. Rose pushes up, which is more reliable. But Operator Sigrid does damage, strips, and pushes back. Operator Sigrid is more aggressive. Rose is more of a setter and tanker, right? So defensive option Rose, offensive option Operator Sigrid, right? So that's the two. That's where they are. I want to. People use Operator Sigrid more than Rose because of that aggression. Because Operator Sigrid has more aggression, more damage, more strip. She's often used more than Rose. That's why I would put Operator Sigrid above Rose in certain situations. They fill a very similar niche. They are both in aggro teams, but she has more slots that she can. She fits more into aggro teams. Rose fits more into Bruiser teams. That's usually where we are. No Purgus. All right, Doris, dude, this unit, people hate this unit higher up. People think this unit is toxic higher up. I think she's really strong. The sustain that this unit has is ridiculous. The cleansing, the increased defense. People use this unit to tank up and make your life miserable. So that's her job. She's a make your life miserable unit that counters so many units. She counters RB, Stene, what other dark? Iseria, Rylet, OP6 to an extent. She just counters a lot of dark units. Arby's right here, bro. Hey, I never said Arby wasn't toxic, bro. There's a reason Arby's up here. But people do it to be toxic tank, usually. They use toxic tank Doris, right? Like, they just put her in a super tanky team, and they just want to make your life, they want to make you cry. They want to just put their team super buffy, and then you just kind of there like sitting like, oh man. But yes, Bazaar counters her, Briar Witch Iseria, which is why she's not meta, because these two are huge gatekeepers. Briar Witch Iseria and Bazaar are gatekeeping a lot of units from being more powerful. If they were around, the meta would be disgusting. But it actually would be disgusting. Without Bazaar and without Briar Witch Iseria, we would actually be in a full tank meta. But because those two units are here, along with Landy, we're in a very diverse meta. They're kind of gatekeepers to a lot of different units. Mortalix, you guys know where I'm going to put him. I almost want to put him here. To be honest with y'all, I almost want to put him here because even in the situations that you would want to use him, he's bad. There's no situation that you would take Mortalix over any other unit. If they don't have RB, I don't blame them to make Toxic Doris. I mean, yeah. To be fair though, with Doris, if you're a free-to-play player, really good counter actually. If you're struggling against Arbiter Vildred, she's a really solid counter. If you tank up in Doris, Arbiter Vildred can't do much. But okay, I'm gonna put him here. He doesn't even have a niche. Why would you bring him against a tank team if you can just bring Bazaar or Bryceria? There's no reason to bring Mortalix ever. Ever. The one guy in the Discord that has that super strong triple SS Mortalix, she doesn't even bring him 99% of the time because she'd rather bring a Bazaar, a Rylet, an RB, or any other unit that can counter tank teams, right? Because like, what is he gonna do? Nothing. RTA and Mercedes, this one in High Champion, she's here. She's meta. Our team of Mercedes in High Champion / Legend is nuts. She's actually broken. Our team of Mercedes is an example of the split in the community right now for like brackets. and it's showing the divide, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like that there's such a big divide between Legend and High Champion and lower brackets. Because I will say, yes, our team of Mercedes for 99.9% of players is not a great unit. She's okay for 99.9% of players. Because A, you're not going to be able to get the godlike gear that people have. And B, you're not going to be able to have the perfect team for her. Right? So she is actually a unit that is, I don't know if you're familiar with League of Legends, but it's kind of like Rise or with like a Kali, where like, or Callista, where like if they buff the unit, right? Because a lot of people want our team and Mercedes buff. If they buff our team and Mercedes, the upper brackets of RTA are absolutely destroyed. It literally would become who first picks our team and Mercedes. That's the thing. In higher brackets, it would be a mess. It legit would be our team and Mercedes or bust. Because they have so many tanky units to pair off with our team and Mercedes that it doesn't matter that she's inconsistent. But the second you leave Legend, right, even in High Champion, the second you leave Legend, she is not good. I have yet to lose to an Arch team and Mercedes. To this day, I have yet to lose to an Arch team and Mercedes. Because every time I fight someone, they don't know how to make the full potential. I wouldn't be able to make the full potential out of her. I don't have the units. I could pull for her, and I would suck with her. I would say she sucks. I wouldn't think she's broken. But then you watch legend level players use her, and you're like, oh, that's why she's broken. That's why she shouldn't be buffed. Right? So it's like, it's a really weird case scenario where I don't know what the right thing would be. Because on my end and like on the other players' end that are like lower on brackets, I would say she's balanced. She's not super strong. She's not super reliable. She's okay. She's a good unit. But higher up, she's a menace. Let me see if I can show you guys the build of one of these people. Let me see this one. Let me show you guys if I can find this one that someone sent me from. This is the one that a legend level player uses. And then you guys will understand what kind of gear quality I'm talking about. And this is not even an optimized one, right? So this RTA Mercedes. Look at the stats. Look at the set. Do you start to see why it could get to a point where in a full bruiser versus bruiser, which is usually in legend, this could be disgusting? Right? Do you guys see, like, the S3 burn is insane, and then setting up into another S1 to get back to your S3 faster? If you don't win after a certain period in RTA, you lose. You can't one-shot her. She strips your buffs consistently. She denies General Purgus. She's the most reliable General Purgus counter, the most reliable A Tywin counter, the best T-Cern counter, the best RB counter. She's the best counter to most units in the meta in High Champion Legend. But it's absolutely hard. It's so hard. You need whale gear. I guarantee you, this gear is like perfect high roll on everything. Right? This is the level that they see. And it's only at this level that Archdemon goes from a okay unit to absolutely broken. You guys see why it's such a problem, and I don't know what Smoget's gonna do. Because I actually think there will be legend players that would quit the game if Archdemon Mercedes got a buff. It's just I understand the consistency issues. It would be cool if she get 100%, but it's just, if she gets that buff, I actually think legend players would quit, even if it's just that inconsistency boost. But it's interesting. I do wonder what Smoget will do, because this is what they have to deal with. And usually legend fights are usually bruiser versus bruiser, and she wins that matchup. Right? It's disgusting. The more I look at this, the more I'm like, this is just gross, right? It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely broken, right? So, yes, it's nasty. It's just what it's really hard to adjust because she literally, like, if we look at RTA Mercedes, she counters General Purgus, she counters Arby, she counters Lazare Crow, she counters a Tywin, she counters FCC, counters Bryceria, counters Rylet, counters LQC to an extent, counters Sage Ball, counters Seaside. If you counter on her, she's done on the S3, so you can't, Stena can't S3 her. Counters Robbie. Like, counters over 50% of the units up here. Counters T-Surin. Like, it's just disgusting, right? What she can do is disgusting. She does get countered by Rowana. She does have counters, right? She's not a broken, like, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Even LQC, that's supposed to be a counter, you're probably not killing, even with an attack buff, you're not killing RT and Mercedes. That's the thing. Through RT and Mercedes passive, you're not killing. If they have an Aureus, you're not killing RT and Mercedes. That's a problem. But it's weird. It is really weird. It's just, it's a very good unit. Let's just put it that way. She's good. Lower bracket and below legend, she's just good. She's not crazy. She's not OP. She's just a good counter pick. In legend and even in like high, like top 200, she is busted, right? Thankfully, I have yet to go against one of them. So, to me, they don't exist. They're a myth that legend players tell me about and tell me horror stories about RCM Mercedes and how she's breaking the game. But besides that, I have yet to see a strong one. Right? I have yet to fight one. I've seen them. I have yet to fight one, thankfully. But, and then of course, Fairy to Tenebria. Even with the new Emma Lilibet would be in the counter pick section or in the strong. But even with Emma Lilibet, F10 is still gonna see play. She's still a really good aggressive option. She's still good for cleave control. She still has her utilities, right? Sikawana, I think will be interesting for Dark Expedition and for the new Katie's Hunt. I know we needed something for Katie's Hunt. So it's interesting. It'll be very interesting as we go on how the meta will develop, but it'll be the Sika Emma Kawana. So going back to it, she'll be good for C13. That's a big one. I don't see her being a PvP unit at all, but she has potential in PvE, which is fine. It's just like, it's sad because she looks so great and there's only like 2 places I could think of using her, because she looks so good, dude. ML Kawana looks so good. I want to use her in PvP and everywhere, but she's mostly for Katie's, which is like a very niche hunt. And for Dark Expedition, there are better options, but she's not bad for Dark Expedition. But SRE is very, very good. So overall thoughts on the current meta, just kind of going over it, everything we've done. Compared to other seasons, there are a lot more, there are a lot more strong meta and first pick ban units, right? There's a lot of diversity. This is arguably one of the most diverse RTA seasons we've seen of yet, but that is slowly changing. So there is currently something that is making high-level RTA is right now what everyone's trying out, and it is the meta team, and it is the Golden Boys. So right now, the strongest and the golden units right now have the best matchups overall. Right now, most teams consist of General Purgus, Last Rider Craw, a Tywin. Out of these 3 Golden Boys, and usually we'll have a Stene, a Landy, a Basar, LQC, or a Destina, or a Meru, or FCC. Right? So that's currently changing. They are becoming, General Purgus is becoming a very must pick or ban unit. This guy is like shockingly, this is the first time that in Legend, right, this unit has actually gotten to this point. So shockingly, General Purgus in Legend has gotten to this point. If you ask legend level players, this is literally what they'll tell you. That you need that they're usually going for right now, either first picking or banning, because it's actually gotten to this point that is getting close to him being here. Because if you have him, he counters all 3 of these, right? So if your opponent picks these, you already have a counter and a setup for later. So it's something else. It's interesting how it's developing and how it's going on. But a lot of people are starting to prevent General Purgus. A lot of people are first picking him. It's getting pretty ridiculous higher up. Oh yeah, Polides. All right, so for Polides and for Emma Lilibet, Polides is actually strong. I don't think she's just a counter pick. There are people that are cleaving with Polides, countering F Clories with Polides, countering top model Lulukas with Polides, counter single target cleaves with Polides. Polides is actually quite strong. She's actually above a counter pick unit because she actually does a lot more than just counter units. She's actually a good team core unit as well. So Polides is a pretty strong unit. People are using her a lot, right? Maybe overall though, I would say it's strong / counter pick. Because she's in a weird spot. She's pretty good. As far as the Emma Lilibet, she's going to be a counter pick, most likely. She could rise to strong because she does seem like she has a lot of potential. As a bruiser, she has a lot of potential, but the problem is LQC exists. And LQC can delete Emma Lilibet. And a lot of control players are starting to play with LQC in their control teams. Because most counters to control that are not FRES units are typically dark. Champ C. Now Emma Lilibet. If you have this becomes a banned unit for you, right? So I think she's a counter unit. Has potential to go strong, but I don't think she'll ever be meta. She'll probably just, depending on how the meta is right now, she'll go between strong and counter pick. Right? Will require good skill knowledge as well. A Robbie? Where's A Robbie right now? She's good. She's here, right? Oh, A Robbie? Oh, so for A Robbie, she could be here. But the thing with A Robbie, there's just so many better bruisers right now. That's the problem with A Robbie right now. She's a good bruiser. In the right team composition, A Robbie is really strong. But the problem is that half the time, it's like, why pick her when you can pick like LQC? Why pick her when you can pick Robbie? Right? She needs more setup for a bruiser than the others do. So it's in a weird place. She's in a weird spot right now. She's good. She can probably be strong. So overall, this is not the final tier list. I will make a video updated. I'm gonna go through the Discord, talk with a lot of legend level players, see their thoughts, see some things, have some discussions, and then make a final one. And then I'll bring it back with more concise thoughts for you guys. I know a lot of the thing about it is like a lot of players say, "Hey, Robbie, she's such a hard unit to build and use and draft." But if you find the right place to do all 3, she's really good in that situation. It's just hard to find it. Most overrated unit, like a unit that I don't think is good, but is like people think she's broken OP. That's hard. I think all the units. Oh yeah, Seaside. So the reason why cleave units are not in meta is because I'm gonna make a cleave tier, because cleave is weird. Cleave is in a tier on its own. Cleave is always its own thing. That's the big thing. Cleave is in a tier of its own. Seaside is it's weird because here's the thing. She has forever changed Epic 7. The way that Epic 7 runs, because you always have to draft a team that counters Seaside. Because if you don't have a single Seaside counter and your opponent has last pick, you lose. Or you have to ban her, which usually means you're gonna lose. Right? So it's a unit that has changed Epic 7 forever. It's a unit that will always be in the back of everyone's mind. But I don't think she's as much of a threat as people say she is when there's units like Last Rider Crawl, General Purgus, Single Tiger Bursters, Falconeer Clory. She does have counters. She's not like she's not a unit that does not have counters, right? Like reliable counters. So But forever Seaside, like if you ask me, okay, kind of side discussion, but if you ask me units that changed Epic 7 forever, like these are units that just made like forever have an impact of Epic 7. Like they created metas that will low-key never go away. Arbiter Vildred, Seaside Bologna, FCC to an extent. Those are like game defining units. Herman, they're actually probably the best ones. The thing about early game players, I would tell you F. Clury and Ross are your best bets if you're free to play. But Brewster teams are really good lower down. They're very, very good. The thing about it is your defensive gear at this level will not be the same level that the Arbiter Vildred's offensive gears will be. Because everyone invests very heavily into offensive units. And you can't split, like you have to split your gear between a lot of units, but everyone always focuses on army. So that's why it's hard to play full bruiser or full tank in starting for RTA, because even though you may have like strong bruiser units, they will be able to out damage you because DPSs usually get all the resources. But that's it for that. But yeah, there's like these three are probably the most game defining units of Epic 7. And other units that define Epic 7 for periods of time were like Sage Ball, defined it for a very long time. Crimson Armin defined it for a very long time. She was a very defining unit for the meta for a very long time. And Dizzy. Those are probably the units that just changed the meta completely. F10 is got there as well. F10 got there as well. And I think F10 will become part of these four. That will forever change the face of Epic 7. Because you'll forever have to be wary of the F10. Fire Cobras did break A7 for some time. But that was before it. Can explain Acid. Acid is a very good counter to contest speed DPS units and cleave. The only thing stopping him from being a lot stronger is the fact that Landy and Briar Chisaria and other big DPSs like Stene hide behind either Guiding Light or their passives, right? So and Cerise as well, and Athletica as well. So he's still really good at speed contesting, but Guiding Light has made his reach a lot worse, but still very good. Guiding Light is a very meta-defining artifact. It has made the thing about it is forever it will be like forever Guiding Light. Every time they release an archer, they have to balance it around Guiding Light. Right? That's crazy. When you think about it, every time they release a new ranger to Epic 7, the first artifact everyone's gonna look at is Guiding Light. That's scary. That's scary. But alright. That is all I got for you guys today. This was quite a long stream. So I'm gonna be doing some closing stream stuff. I'm still gonna stay around for some questions while I finish my weeklies, because I have not bought my weekly Mola and I need to. So let me do that right now while you guys are here. But if you like the video, you like the discussion, make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord server. If you like the discussion, really consider joining the Discord server. There's always people discussing units, discussing metas, and discussing a lot of stuff. That's where I get a lot of my information, is from talking to people there. Also, subscribe to the channel, because I do things like this for videos where my thoughts are more cohesive. So this is more of my raw thoughts. I do get them more cohesive for videos, and I usually do guides, I do discussions, I do showcases, I do fun videos as well every once in a while, like top 5 Tuesdays and some fun stuff like that. So there's some good stuff. So make sure you sub. It really does help the channel grow. But yeah, let me transmit some 4 stars. Or some 3 stars. I am very low on 4 stars and 3 stars too. Actually, I have penguins. I don't need to do 4 stars today. I have penguins I can do. I have a ton of penguins actually. This should give me enough for, hopefully give me enough for this week. Let me see. I might actually have to do Kawasu. I don't think I have enough for the molas this week. Feels bad. Sorry, Kawasu. Hopefully your mill version is not broken. But yeah, I'm just gonna stay around for some questions. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm just finishing off the weekly stuff. So remember to buy your molas, buy your stuff. there's not gonna be any more exciting news or anything like that. It's just gonna be me chilling and just doing some stuff. Oh my goodness, we're 2 away. I need to start buying more penguins. Oh shoot! Thank you, Hufer. Thank you for reminding me. If you hadn't reminded me, I actually might have forgotten to put you in here. Also, shout out to my guild for staying. Ray's not a counter pick. Ray is most definitely a counter pick unit. I know you love him, Cabbage, and I know you have some nasty builds for him. But he's definitely a counter pick unit. All right, so I'm rolling with this. New season of Guild Wars, which I'm actually excited about, as well as new arena season. Whoa, 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 Olivia. Why are you flaming? No, we're not. We're not. I'm just doing this because I want to have people the chance to check. Because in the whole season, we only rotated 5 people from Fortress. I want to let people be able to experiment with units. So that's why I'm putting people here. I want people to experiment with units. I'm about to set up a bait defense because I know tomorrow's new season. So I told all my guild to put bait defenses, unless you're a Fortress, because I want Fortresses to have a Fortress experience. So when the next season comes around, we can actually see who has really strong defenses. So Fortresses will probably be super meta. And then let me go to my defense. What defense am I going to do? Rate your defense. Is it a bait defense? Because this week is like a chill week, right? So you should actually not put your most meta defense. You should put something that's gonna get people to fight you, right? So for example, I'm not gonna put these two together because that's very scary, right? But I'm gonna try something like this, right? Like I'm just like my Colleen here. Actually, this would just die to luck, you see. Oh, let me think about this. Let's just do that for fun. I just want to see if people attack me. And then for this one, let's do... My landing's on Bloodstone, I don't feel like changing her. That's the problem. Let's just do this one. Hopefully they call is enough to make people want to fight it. And for this one, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's put Sage Ball. Let's put Crow. And let's put Stanley or something. Or Riley. Who should I put actually? Or Landy. Let me just put Landy. Actually no, because she doesn't have Guiding Light. So she'll get deleted. I'll just put Stanley in there. I'm just gonna see this. It's not gonna do good. It's a bad defense. But I'm just doing it for fun. It's a chill week before it's Guild Wars reset, so you're gonna fight. We're gonna be fighting you're either gonna fight a top 5 guild, or you're gonna be fighting a noob guild. Yeah, it's just Mystics. So I kind of want to try different units. I might actually go back and try some different teams, because I want people to attack me. Let me do that. This is the other thing that people like to do. Wait. Let me do this. Let me do this instead, actually. I got this. Let me see some of the stuff you have. I'll rate your defense in a second, TC. Let me actually do this. Let me put... Let me see. Usually to counter this defense, people bring fire units. Do I have any water units that I can slap in there? Alright, we're gonna do this. And then for this, actually no, I need series for the other one. I'm gonna keep one of my defenses very strong, and I'm gonna make one of my other defenses very approachable. And if you're wondering, yes, this is the defense that actually gets more wins. This defense on this side gets the most wins. This defense, I don't know why it gets so many wins. I think it's just because the Cerise with the Charon can solo a lot. And then for this team, I want to make it more approachable. But I still want to make it so it can cheese wins. What's a good way to cheese wins, dude? Maybe do this. I feel like people will CFCC and not want to fight me though. I'll just keep it like that for now. What you mean, Myth? You carried us, bro. Why you trying to leave? Why you trying to leave, bro? Look at this carry, bro. You're getting into those defense dubs. Why are you trying to leave, Myth? But yeah, it's a chill week this week. That's true. That's a really good way to cheese wins. Oh yeah, Jeeper will eat that for breakfast. I mean, it's just for fun. Who's in fort for this week? I put it in the Guild Wars chat. If you're in the guild, I'm not sure if you're in the guild or not, Tyler. I have Ours, Hufer, and I believe. Oh yeah, Aaron. So I gave them this week, and every week I'm gonna be rotating people out of Fortress so they can try out their meta defenses and see how they do. So we'll do it week by week. But yeah, that's not bad though. It's looking pretty spicy. Shoot. Oh yeah, wait. I was supposed to check DC's defense. Let me rate your defense, DC. I know you're in the. Are you in the mid section or are you in the bot section? I think you're in the bot section. What do you think my first time is? I think you're not gonna. I feel like Fortresses are not gonna get attacked on the first day. Sadly. Oh, is it actually all counter? That's gross. Nice. I like it. This is a good bait defense. This is actually a really good bait defense. People will see this, not know what it does, and attack it. That's a really good bait defense. I like it. I like it a lot. 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 Because the thing about it is people are not going to put 2 and 2 together. They're going to try to Bazaar it or ML haste it. And then they're going to realize that T-Cross it removes debuffs from LQC, and LQC can just smack someone. Interesting. And then the FCCT CERN, these two together can just cheese a defense. So, pretty cool. The Champ C is just there for fun, I'm pretty sure. It's a good bait defense. Let me see what other people are putting for their bait defenses. I love looking at bait defenses, dude. She kept her meta defense. I think your defense is bait, Cabo. This is a super meta defense. No one's going to attack this. We already looked at this one. People always, like, when you fight a newbie guild, people always try to go for wins. I should put an unawakened unit. I think that's what gets people, is you could put unawakened units. Wait. I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do for mine. I got it. There we go. We got it. Let's see. I'm gonna see a couple more because I should not stay up past too late because I've been sleeping way too late recently. And I need to start sleeping earlier. Man, no one's putting their bait defenses. Well, I guess that's more for me, bro. Yeah, these are all, like, I think these are all their, like, battle-ready defenses. Which, by the way, got us top 100, which is crazy to me. I'm very proud of my guild. Very, very proud of my guild. Oh, this guy put a bait defense. Oh, this actually might be his actual defense. I'm curious, actually. This might actually be his actual defense. No. I don't remember if he changed it or not. Let me do this. But yeah, dude, we barely made it by the skin of our teeth, dude. I almost wanted to cry, dude. We finished with the last Guild War was a tie. Can you imagine the last Guild War of the season ends in a tie? That's crazy, dude. Like, oh man, that was probably the most hype I've been in Epic 7 in my life. For sure. That trumps a lot of stuff that's happened to me in Epic 7. Because, dude, that was just amazing. Let me make sure I get this for my guildies, or I'll get flamed. Are there any other weeklies I'm forgetting? Arena we already did. We need to check the shops, but we need to sell one more 3-star hero. Yeah, dude, it was something else, dude. And I made a misplay too. That's the thing. I was about to like be so depressed because the thing about it, it's like we were all on call on the last attack to win everything. right? Like this was the last fight. We were directing our weakest guild member at the time. He had the last attack. His units are not ready for Guild Wars, right? They're not that strong right now, right? Because he mostly does like he hasn't been playing recently, right? So he hasn't been able to make his gear better. So we were all there with him, directing him on what to do. And I told him to S1 with Dark Corvus the FCC instead of S1ing the T-Surin or the Emoken. And because of that, because it provoked the T-Surin, the FCC, the Dark Corvus got perma-locked for 2 turns in a row. And I was like, oh my god, I lost this for my guild. I was about to cry, bro. I was like, I actually lost this for my guild. I actually was like, I made the stupidest call for him and told him to do the stupidest thing. And he almost lost because of that. The T-Surin lived with 30 health one time and then retaliated, and then Dark Corvus lived with 20 health. And we were just like, what the dude, it was something else, bro. Oh, that was probably the most exciting experience in Epic 7 that I've ever had in my entire life. Ever. That was great. It was something else. I think it also melded the team a lot more together. So we're a lot closer now after our struggles. I just realized I can just go into the transmission window. I'm really bad. I'm like really tired right now. But I need to get the Molagora. Can't forget the Mola. I always leave it for like last minute, and it always screws me. Who's getting the axe? Iron, you're getting the axe. I already have Lorin maxed, and I don't want to put Lorin. Yeah, I wish it was co-op. I think a co-op would be really cool. You know what would be really awesome? Alright, hear me out. 2v2s. 2v2 PvP or 3v3 or something like that. I don't know. It could be pretty cool. But I don't know. I feel like they need more. I think Epic 7 has another opportunity to blow up, which is very rare for a gacha game, because it's recently gotten a lot of attention from streamers. It's gotten a lot of hype around a lot of the updates and events that they've been putting out. It's about to have a massive collab. If they do a good job with the collab and follow it up with a really good co-op mode, I think Epic 7 could actually blow up again. They're right there. They have the opportunity to make another great explosion for the game, but they have to catch it. Like, they have to actually catch it. It's actually getting like Epic 7 goes in waves. We're at the high wave. I just realized I already did this. I need to actually shop. I'm getting so distracted and so tired. But they're at the cusp of potentially being one of the biggest gacha games if they don't F it up, of course. And they have the chance to. They have to do a huge IP. They have to follow up with the co-op mode, because I think the thing about Epic 7 that is lacking right now is a proper co-op mode. It has the solo mode for PvE. PvE is great. Like at this point, if new players, oh yeah, PvE is great. Like you have so much challenges to do in PvE. You have so much progression you can focus on. Then you have Arena and RTA. You get ease into RTA and into Guild Wars. I think what we need the most is either a new PvP co-op mode, but I think a co-op PvE mode would be better. That's challenging, like expeditions or something, but like more co-op-y. And then I think we need a new PvP mode. Yeah, Expos are the closest we've gotten. But I think like more PvP content. I think they need to do something more with Guild Wars. They have to add another aspect to Guild Wars, or to guilds, like another PvP aspect to guilds. I think that's really important. I think that's a priority. I think that's the biggest priority that they need to do, is for guilds, give a another game mode and improve the rewards for RTA. And then Epic 7 is cruising. I actually think it's cruising, bro. I think if Epic 7 does a huge IP with a good company that can actually like propel it, get a good co-op mode that makes people want to play together, either in Guild Wars or anything, and then improves RTA rewards to increase diversity of players and motivation, I think Epic 7 can actually become one of the biggest gacha games. Like, bigger than Summoner's War. Not bigger than Genshin, of course. Genshin is already a beast at this point. But it's not even. I don't even consider it a gacha game at this point. Genshin is its own category. But Epic 7 is on the. It's literally right there of becoming one of the bigs, right? Because right now the bigs are like Genshin, FGO, and what's another one of the bigs that I might be missing? What's another big one? There's a lot of like the big gacha games that everyone plays. Up there with like I think it's right now it's on the same level as Arknights, but it could be so much more. Dude, when Epic 7 first came out, it was bigger than Summoner's War. How's this for Guild? Imagine if we don't just do towers but can capture them, so it becomes more of a territory protection fight. And I think that'd be really cool, but I feel like at that point it will become almost blatantly obvious that they were copying Summoner's War. Like the thing about it, okay, as much as I hate on Summoner's War now, because if it became a cash grab, Summoner's War had some of the best PvE and PvP ideas ever. They took way too long to implement it, which I hope Epic 7 doesn't make that same mistake. Because Summoner's War could have also been enormous. It still is. That's the thing. Even with all the mistakes they made, it was still enormous. But the thing about it is, if Epic 7 is on the cusp of that as well. But yeah, Andrew, I think it's an automatic bot. I don't have any mods or anything here, and I don't touch the chat. I'm pretty sure it's sometimes YouTube stops some certain words. I don't know why, but they do like random words that if you do it, they'll just actually like delete it automatically. If they think it's aggressive or hate speech, YouTube will automatically delete it. I have no control over that. That's just YouTube being YouTube. Oh, you didn't play Ink? Dude, Summoner's War had this thing that was 3v3. It's a guild war that it's a territory 3v3, and it's 2 a week, and it lasts for 2 days. And essentially, you set up multiple towers, right? You set up multiple. Imagine setting up like 5 Guild Wars defenses, right? And you set up the towers around a perimeter, and it's a 3v3. It's a 3 guild free for all territory fight. So you have to strategize what attacks you use, what defenses you post to get taken away first, what's holding your main route, and then like you get points if your towers are connected. If your towers are not connected together, they didn't get it. It's really cool. Like Guild Wars in Summoner's War are really cool. They are really unique and will be really awesome. Oh yeah, probably. Andrew, that probably would get deleted by that. Raid Shadow Legends, Kina, you're right. It probably would be up there for sure. But yes, Ink, Summoner's War has some of the best. So good, dude. They have such good PvP game modes with the Guild Wars. Their RTA is trash though. Their arena is actually not bad. It's better than our arena. It's more diverse. Well, it was when I used to play, but it was all cleave though. At least it didn't take 2 years. But I guess Epic 7's all cleave too. So I guess they both have the same problem. So let me just show you how it looked like. Guild Wars map. It was really cool. It looked like this, right? So if you see the different colors, each of these towers has like health bars. And each player gets 3 attacks a day. They get like 30 units that they can attack with. And they can't reuse the same you can't reuse the same teams. Right? So once you use that unit is gone. Right? So this would be so cool if they actually did it. Because the thing about it, it's like, but the only problem is this was very early game friendly because it benefited people with large unit pools. Because A, you needed to make 10 defenses. I guess Epic 7 could probably get away with doing 4. B, you had 10 attacks, 3 units each that you could not reuse. So it made it so you had to use different units. And you had to fight meta defenses that people could put up. It was very unique. I have never seen anything like this. Like, oh man, as much as I may rip on Summoner's War, now they literally define Epic 7's gacha game industry. Like, Summoner's War is the golden standard and was the golden standard for gacha games at the time. There was nothing even close to Summoner's War at the time of its peak. Like the first 5 years of Summoner's War. Then you started getting copy-alikes or people that are trying to copy Summoner's War. Com2uS started getting more greedy, started making bad business decisions, started making more pay-to-win stuff. And then it started declining. And then games like Epic 7 came out right around the same time that they made very controversial updates. So it was like most Summoner's War players jumped to Epic 7. I was part of that group that played Summoner's War for 6 years. And during those bad patches, I hopped over to Epic 7, never looked back. And that's the same thing with like people like, even like YDCB. I've known YDCB since he had like 10k subs. Because he was one of the earliest Summoner's War players. So I used to watch YDCB and think he was super funny. And he used to be like not successful at all. Super small YouTuber. I think he even had a side job at the time. He had not quit his job for YouTube at the time. He had another job, or he was like in school or something. It was crazy, dude. But it was actually ridiculous how much of this stuff was. But I respect that game so much because it's my roots. And most players that came from Summoner's War to Epic 7 advanced so much faster in the game than most other people because Summoner's War had so many core mechanics that were similar. And for the first year of Epic 7, it felt like Epic 7 was ripping off Summoner's War. Like it actually, like World Boss, all that stuff, legit from Summoner's War. The World Boss, it's legit just a copy paste from Summoner's War, which is also one of the worst updates in Summoner's War was the World Boss update. Because it was very just auto and lame, right? It was just something you did. So it was it's very interesting. They have definitely diverted. Like Expeditions is completely different. They've definitely become completely different games, completely different directions, completely different mechanics. But at the start, they were very similar. Dude, Epic 7 at the beginning was so different. It was weird though. There wasn't as much to do. There's a lot of stuff to do now. But one thing I can say is really nice is they used to not have auto. Can you imagine manually your Wyvern runs? Having to click every single Wyvern run? Holy moly. Joshua, I still actually do have my account. I linked it to my email, so I didn't sell it because, and it has sentimental value, dude. That's the thing. It's like, it has way too much sentimental value with me. You have to realize I played Summoner's War when in 8th grade. Played it all through high school and my first 2 years of college. Think about that. Like, think about that. That's I would never sell that account, dude. It has so many good units, and it's just like 6 years of my life committed to one game that would cheer me up in like the saddest moment. I still remember my first college exam. I bombed it. I got like an F, right? And I went home. I was depressed. I played some Summoner's War, and I pulled an MO 5-star that day. My mood got so much better. I went to talk to the professor the next day with a better mood. And I don't know, man. It's just very sentimental to me. I would never be able to sell my Summoner's War account. And Summoner's War will always have like that special place in my heart, dude. I don't know why. It's just, it's too sentimental for me, dude. I don't think I'd ever quit it. So even if I don't play the game anymore, I would never sell my account. It's just, I know it would have been worth quite a bit at the time when I quit, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So that was my one game, dude. That was my one game. There are still times that I see Summoner's War ads and it makes me want to hop back. And it makes me so sad that Summoner's War Centuria looks like a cash grab. Because I guarantee you, if Summoner's War Last Centuria, because they're making a remake of Summoner's War, if it didn't look like a cash grab, I would have probably made videos about it. That's how much I was into the Summoner's War universe. But alright, that's enough for it. That's enough story time. I finished all my dailies. There's no point. I need to go to sleep. It's very late for me, and I have a lot of stuff I need to do tomorrow. So we will conclude the stream right there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and all that good stuff. Still have a lot of good stuff coming in your way, so make sure you're subbed and like the video. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.